everybody kind of knows you as the I drive a 55 guy. You're driving.
I worked at the Playboy Mansion for a while. I worked on Baywatch here and there. I wrote a book. I married a Barker's Beauty, but I need a publisher because otherwise she'll sue the shit out of me.
Got to be hands down the worst thing GM's ever built. It's fucking horrible. Yeah.
That's a statement.
Whistling diesel stuff. And this was like early on. And I'm like, dude, why are you watching that? That's complete crap. Like, turn that stuff off. That's ridiculous.
You were not a fan.
I was not a fan, right? Well, a couple of weeks ago, I'm sitting at the kitchen table and I'm just kind of like, lazy Sunday morning, and I'm watching a video, and he's like peeks over my shoulder and he's like, "Why are you watching Whistling Diesel?" It's like, I thought you said that sucks.
Oh, welcome back to Oil and Whiskey. Another episode. We've got a banger this week. We've got Jeff Thisted. I drive a 55. Let's get a...
Not to be confused with I can't drive 55.
I'm pretty sure that's kind of what he was going for there.
Okay.
Let's get this thing started. Let's admit Jeff.
Bring him in.
Hey.
And sorry I can't be there with you guys.
Yeah.
No problem, man. You didn't want to go tearing that 55 through this beautiful, salty, slushy mess. Is that...
I'm the idiot who drove it to the Bonneville Salt Flats, went out a few miles, and I had 2.5 inches. It took me 9 months to get the salt out from under that damn thing. But I don't care.
Yeah, that stuff's usually permanent. One trip out to Bonneville, it's there forever.
Right?
We're going to...
what are we going to do?
We're going to unpackage this real quick and get a pour.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Having some difficulties.
It takes a strong hand.
I need to talk seriously.
Go ahead. You do the talking, I'll do the cutting.
I appreciate
open
it.
And pouring of the whiskey.
We did a quick little intro here to get started, Jeff, but we're going to probably start very cliche with this one and get the backstory, because we've known each other briefly for a little bit of time, but not really close. But I just hear stories, right? Everybody kind of knows you as the I drive a 55 guy. You're driving all over the place. You've got a great YouTube channel. You're the look at that, even a book, a coffee table book. We see, if you would have came in person, we could have had things and touched it.
I wish I could. It's killing me.
Well, we'll do it again. We'll do it again at the end of the year. You're also voice of Hot Rod Power Tour for 10, 11, 12 years on the main stage. And you also do announcing at Good Guys. And I assume I've seen you and I've seen Tim Strange. So does that have anything to do with how close the stage is to the announcing? If it's close, then they bring you in. If it's far away, or if it's going to be audio only, then they'll bring Tim in, because he's got a face for radio. I tell you what.
Oh, stop it! Tim is the best.
Oh, he's the best. Yeah, but if you put him next to you, and we were talking about the best looking, Tim come in third place in a
killer radio face. Probably one of the best radio faces.
For Good Guys, we split it up.
Okay.
I used to do like Texas West, and then after COVID, they split up some. Or they shrunk the shows down. So, we do Scottsdale, the finale we do together. And historically, we've been doing Columbus, which is I think it's their second biggest show together. We do the autocross all day long, and then the awards for Scottsdale and Columbus.
Nice.
So before all the car stuff, you've had quite the little run there in Hollywood.
Yeah, Josh told me little bits and pieces, man. I didn't know any of this about you, but as he sprinkled that stuff in there, I started getting
What? Tell me.
Were you more excited about the Saved by the Bell, Baywatch, or Price is Right?
I think The Price is Right, because every time I hear The Price is Right, I just can't help it. With Happy Gilmore 2 coming back, I just can't ever get that.
Wait, is it really?
The Price is Right.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore 2 is coming back.
Oh, very good. Okay,
soon.
Yeah, it was that.
But that's a colorful career.
It was a dream job. We had the keys to the candy store, Stage 33, CBS, Television City, 7800 Beverly Boulevard, Hollywood, California, 9036. Okay, Bob. It was fantastic. Worked there for almost 10 years. Giving away cars and refrigerators, and we had a blast out there. It was awesome. And what I can't believe, a friend of mine's daughter found it. I don't know if it was on Hulu or where she found it. I'd forgotten about it. The Saved by the Bell, the college years. And my buddy texted me the pictures and like, oh geez. So then I, like an idiot, I posted them online, and then the good John Borcher and Aloysius and Eric ganged up on me. It was like, you were on Saved by the Bell. It's like, yeah, what? And I had forgotten about it. So yeah, we had, yeah, and the pictures of me in the wrestling singlet. It's not my proudest moment, but I got to check.
So would you go up against AC Slater or Screech, or you're wrestling? I mean, what was going on in that episode? I don't remember the episode.
Yeah, Slater and I were I was on his wrestling team.
Okay.
So I was one of his
good.
buddies or his cronies. I've got a few pictures of me in my flannel shirt. Yeah, and in a wrestling singlet. We have flannel shirt at the party next to him, and then in the wrestling singlet, yeah, kneeling down on the mat.
Quite an experience.
I gotta find this.
Right?
It's on your. Is it on your Instagram?
Somewhere. Let me see if I can find it here.
You gotta go back.
But yeah, keep on talking. Or I don't want to hold this. I got it somewhere.
Yeah, Josh is.
I should.
Josh is digging through it. We got it up on the screen here. So
okay.
We will find it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you got.
Oh,
okay.
Look at that.
Okay. Yeah, with the glasses, and then there's another one in the. I think I still have that flannel shirt, and then here's the in the wrestling thing.
It's not bad. It's nothing to beat.
Okay, wait. So wait, not bad. That's not good.
Oh no,
it's just a step above bad.
When you said not my proudest moment, I was expecting something worse. That's not bad. I wouldn't be. There's nothing to be ashamed
good.
of.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a compliment.
How does Price is Right happen? How does that happen for you?
I worked I left Colorado and I went to LA to become America's favorite TV game show host. And I worked around for a while. I went to the gym and I met this guy. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Funhouse.
Funhouse, no.
Anyways, it was a game show back like after school, 3:00. And this redhead guy, friend of mine, mentor, JD Roth, was the host. And I'm at the gym one day. I'm like, hey, you look familiar. Yeah, we became friends. He was a game show host, and he had a production company. Pearson Entertainment bought his production company. He brought me on. And then when Baywatch got canceled, I got laid off with everyone else. And I got back from the gym one day, had a message on my machine. My last name is Thisted. From Thisted, it gets mispronounced all the time to Twisted. So my nickname is Twist. So I get the message on the machine, Twist, I got something for you, call me. So I interviewed at The Price is Right. And when I first moved out to LA, there's this thing called the Hollywood Reporter.
Okay.
And
yeah.
That in Variety, but the Hollywood, I think it was on Thursdays, they had a list of all of the productions or all the shows in movie and TV and production, pre-production, all that crap. So like an idiot, or the kid from Colorado, I opened it up. Oh, Price is Right, cool. So I called up the 323, CBS main line. CBS, TV City. Hi, Price is Right, please. Roger Dobkowitz. Yeah, can I say who's calling? Yeah, Jeff Thisted from Colorado State University. Hello, this is Roger.
Wow.
Wow. Hi, I'm this idiot from I want to be a game show host or da-da-da-da-da. Oh, great. Would you want to come down to the show? It's like,
come on
seriously?
down.
So come on down. Exactly. You're going to say it, mean it. So I went down and met him and met everybody. I got to watch him interview the contestants that day. I watched 2 shows. It was unbelievable. So 10 or so years later, I went in after I got my voicemail message and met with Roger, and I told him that story. And he's like, "Oh my God, I don't remember that at all." It's like it's you meet thousands of people a day. I get it, but I ended up getting the job through that, and yeah, it was it was pretty awesome. Stage 33, CBS. That's the stage where Elvis made his West Coast debut.
Oh wow!
So it was it was kind of cool.
That's wild.
What a great show, man! I think that I have this like attraction to like sparkly things, shiny things, stickers. Chris always busts my balls. You guys are always making fun of me. Like if we can make a sticker and it's going to have RS on it, it's got to have like glitter and shiny things, right?
Yep.
And I'm thinking, now that I'm thinking of it, I think it stems from my early childhood of the wheel on The Price is Right. Remember the what?
Yeah, I do.
Whatever the one that was all sparkly. That was as a grand prize, right? Whatever the hell it was.
big
What's
wheel.
the showcase showdown? You get the big wheel.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
spin the wheel to qualify for the showcase showdown. Yeah.
We're cutting back to like
That show shaped you in different ways than it shaped me. I just remember Barker's Beauties. Yeah,
exactly.
There was different reasons I watched it.
Yeah, I always wondered if Bob was laying it down. When he'd get those.
So you like sparkly things? I'm a little bit attacking right now.
Go for it.
I wear this with pride.
Yeah.
One of the most expensive shirts I own. But my Roadster Shop flannel. It's
tone on tone. It's subtle.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not subtle. It's
piss
It's
poor.
invisible.
I know.
It should be American flag or something. Anyways, I'm planting the seed for a.
It was not supposed to have the background.
Let's call it a misprint.
Yeah, it was not supposed to have the background like it did.
Okay,
but
good.
at the same time, there was a debate on having a flannel that you would actually wear to a dinner or something like that, and it not just be so bright logo. So it is kind of a thing that's there, but it is kind of subtle. So there was There's divided.
Oftentimes, what we run into is that Josh handles some of our apparel, and if you just, if you just look at him, you'd realize it might not be the best.
Be nice. Come
idea.
on. One thing I love that you guys do, those damn wrestling belts.
Yeah,
those are amazing.
Those have plenty of sparkles and shine to them.
do.
Yeah,
they're badass.
Well, thank you, man. I mean, that shirt in general, like if I could have put like those old '70s iron-ons around that tack. To have that be metal flake all day long, it would be a big seller. I think it would sell better, don't you think?
I don't know about better,
but
stuff
doesn't last. Is the problem.
You've got to be Dazzler at home, don't you?
It sticks.
Josh does all our in-house bedazzling. Actually,
I have retired from bedazzling. Yeah, all those damn chains at the party, all those things, like that's all hand done, individually done. Yeah, that's
every one of those little sequins. Josh glues them in there.
Way too much.
They're awesome.
Not doing that anymore. So you're rocking and rolling in California. You're on The Price is Right. I mean, you're living life. Are you into hot rods at that point?
My daily driver back then, I had a '69 Corvette. The TV show Jag.
Oh yeah, I know Jag.
What kind of car did he drive? Any idea?
'69 Corvette.
Giddy up!
Damn,
that was my car.
Wow.
You were looking at my body. You're looking at something. That's it.
Nothing's pulled up. Yeah.
You
were driving a '69 Corvette every day, and I'm not trying to date you, but I assume you're significantly older than me, but he looks significantly better than me because we're just going to get that out of the way. I get
I'm like
that.
75.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess. I'm
55 or 56.
You're 53.
I forget. Well, 10/10/68 is my birthday.
Okay. Oh, so you'll be So you're 10 years older than me, and he looks. Man, that sucks because he looks way better.
You're gonna look like Bob Barker in another 10 years. Dude.
I know. Yeah, I look. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take it.
Right. Barker's awesome.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. So you're driving that around. I mean, you're living the fucking life. Then you moved from Colorado. You're in SoCal. You're doing the game show thing, and you're driving a '69 Corvette.
Yeah. So I had a motorcycle first, and it was the big. I think it was the '94 earthquake. I'm driving through Beverly Hills, and a lady makes a left turn in front of me and pops my ankle real good. Double compound fracture. I was laid up for months, and my person at the time, the girl, totaled my car. So I got money for that. The bike was totaled, and my mom was my voice of reason. And it's like so Hemmings Motor News. Remember that before the internet?
Yep.
I'm going through Hemmings, and I found a '70 Chevelle. It's got a 383 in it, the rockers and all sorts of things. I'm like, Mom, I found this Chevelle, and well, I've never heard you talk of a Chevelle. What about that Corvette you always wanted? What do you mean? Well, you're in your 20s. You don't have a girlfriend, a wife, any responsibility, a mortgage. Why don't you get a Corvette? It's like, you're my voice of reason telling me to get a Corvette?
Live life. Live life.
Yeah. So
your mom sounds awesome.
She was awesome. Yeah. So I forgot the Chevelle, and I found this '69 Corvette somewhere in Connecticut. Had it shipped out, and I still had all sorts of crap and external fixation in my leg. So I was on crutches. I couldn't walk, and it had 3 pedals. So I went down every day pushing that damn pedal in, and finally one day it went in, and I had to hop back up the stairs, get the keys, came back down, and I fired that thing up, and drove it around the block for them. And so, yeah, every day that it got me to walk again.
It's damn rehab too.
It's a new form of physical
100%. Yeah. So I did, and then I did a bunch of background work, and I went over to Paramount that showed Jag. They had already shot the 2-hour pilot premiere, whatever it was. So the very first show, I'm there, and as I drive in, Donald P. Belisario, how can you forget? I can never forget that name. He did Magnum PI and Tequila and Benetti and Airwolf and Jag.
And Airwolf is great.
And NCIS, I think he did also.
You don't remember Airwolf?
But he had
the helicopter?
a brand new, Airwolf.
That was bad.
He had a brand new SL or SL 600, the 12-cylinder Mercedes.
Yep.
Had never seen one, and he's showing it off to the crew or to his friends or whatever. And I don't know if there was 5 people standing. I started talking to him about it, and that night when we left, I pulled up next to him, and he's like, "Whose car is that? Your car? Bring it in tomorrow. That's the new star car for the show." Like, wait, what? So that's how that became the star car of the show. And I've been a hot rod guy since I was in the 4th grade. I had a subscription to Hot Rod magazine, and I've always loved cars and hot rods and whatnot. So that was the car connection there.
That's wild.
Crazy, right?
Is that like, do they make up for that on like your salary or your pay? Like any sort of like usage?
Well, the car
of the vehicle?
I forget what it was. It was over $500 a day back then just for the car. And then they had to give me a SAG voucher. So I would get the SAG money. So that would go to thank God I had insurance. Otherwise I'd still be bankrupt from my leg, all the leg surgeries. But yeah, so that the car made more money than I did for years, paid my bills for years.
It's fucking all because your mom said go for it and drive and live it.
All because of mom. Yeah. What's the Chevelle? Get a Corvette.
Dude, I mean, look at like the alternative is maybe you got a 70 Chevelle, and what would you be? Like Matthew McConaughey? You know, like where does that lead you? You know what I mean?
But for that show, that's
pretty cool.
I mean, you were like, we're only like 20 minutes into this, and it's the epitome of right place, right time. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Wow, that's
right
awesome.
place, right time. It just, yeah. I still remember some asshole director was sitting on the tonneau cover. That it was a convertible, so whatever that fiberglass thing, sitting on it, and I'm a young kid letting him, and then he's like, "Yeah, I really don't like these Corvettes. The Mercedes are much better." I'm like, "Who in the fuck are you?" Yeah. Right, yeah, these directors. So, anyways, right place, right time, and then hung out with JD and Price is Right, and good times aplenty.
What was? I mean, I know that you probably get this a lot, and we're going to get into car talk. Don't get me wrong, but
you got to spend a little time on Bob Barker.
The Price is Right thing. I'm just intrigued from the backside. Like, what's a day? What does an actual day look like? What time are you getting there? What are you doing? How long are you spending? How many shows you're doing a day? I mean, I've got a lot of questions. Like, there's things I like to learn about.
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
We had the keys to the candy store during Barker's reign. On Mondays, we would do 2 shows. So no office time, 2 shows on Monday. I know get there at 8 or 9 or 10, something like that. I don't remember. But do rehearsal, have lunch, do the first show, and then I think we'd have half an hour while the crew would reset all the prizes backstage and roll them in. Then we'd have rehearsal, load in the audience, and then do the second show on Monday. Tuesday and Thursday, we'd have office in the morning, and then do 1 show, and we'd be done. And Wednesday, office in the morning, 1 show, and then after that show, we'd have our production meeting, where it's like I'd have to get the routine sheets together and the staging sheets together and show all the different things for our following week. We'd go through and have the production meeting, make sure everything is right in our sheets and in the script, and and all the script for Rich Fields, the announcer, program practices. I don't know if there was, So then I deliver all the scripts around TV City to the people. We'd have the meeting, and we'd usually be done with the meeting before 5, and happy hour across the street or across the fence at the Wood Ranch was usually from 3 to 6. So when we didn't have the production meeting, we had happy hour. It was the keys to the candy store. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
I mean, Barker had he owned daytime like Carson owned nighttime. I mean, he ran the city, right?
It was Barker, not necessarily, but it was a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. Mark Goodman had, from what I understand, over 50% of CBS's daytime programming at one point, and like over one production, which is amazing. And the stories that I heard, there's the farmer's daughter is the motel across the street from TV City, where people from out of town, they stay there and then they walk across the street for The Price is Right. And there was two bars that that were closed before I got there. Otherwise, I would have lived there. Kelbo's and the Slicker. I can't believe I have these names in my head. And as the story goes, the director in the director's booth would have the bat phone up there when the crew is drunk or across the street drinking, and no ring, no nothing, but over at Kelbo's or the Slicker, I don't know which, but a phone would light up over there. The bartender would pick it up and send it back. All right, guys, go back. And as more stories go, there would be camera operators or producers or whoever who would get tickets for jaywalking across the street from the bar to the thing. And it was one of those things where he drank, I think they were gin and tonics or martinis. And if you don't have 3 during lunch, you're fired. You can't hang with us. And it's like, oh man, a 3 martini lunch every day. And like, that's like the golden age of Hollywood.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm picturing everybody like dressed and looking like Ron Burgundy, like Anchorman.
Of course. Era, Of course.
One of our camera operators, Marty Wagner, Emmy Award-winning camera operator Marty, had the members-only jacket, the epaulettes, the white mustache, Ron Burgundy, the white perfect hair, and he always came in dressed and was always completely perfect. I'd ask him questions. Stay where you are, kid. You want to stay above the line. You don't want to have anything to do with this camera. Stay above the line, kid. It's like, okay, Marty. Okay.
That's a different era. I mean, you think back about those guys. They just were on the camera, right? You know, a prominent position. But he's behind the camera and he's dressing to success. You know, dressing for success every single day. Dressing to impress. You don't see.
You know, I'd be wearing sweatpants and.
It's changed. I mean, it's gotten like behind the camera. It's usually like hipster kind of dude. That used to be like a man, like a manly man, right? Like somebody that everybody aspired to be. It was a noteworthy position, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, everything does.
Now shorts and flip flops.
I'm telling you, when they decided to make airline travel like just transportation versus a thing. Yeah. When you used to have to dress up,
when you couldn't smoke anymore on the plane.
That's exactly where I was going there. That's exactly when you had to get dressed up and you could smoke and enjoy a cigarette on your travel, right? And you were dressing to impress. Once they take that away, now it's just a bus in the sky, and all civilization started to crumble.
That's a good point.
This is the used car speech right here.
Don Reddy. What year was that? Just I don't want to get too sidetracked, but I feel like I remember when we were kids, it was still
had to be late 80s.
No,
it didn't go into the 90s. No way.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
I remember flicking the ashtrays, as a kid in the plane, so it had to be. And I remember just
had to be 90s,
sucking down the secondhand smoke like crazy.
We sat in the smoking section
everywhere. Yeah, 2 smoking parents. It was smoking section in the restaurants. Smoking.
The whole plane was a smoking section. You're trapped in the tube of death.
When is it?
What?
I'm just gonna raise my hand in victory right now.
It's 90s.
You're wrong, but
really,
you're way more right than I am. It was in the year 2000.
Are you serious?
No way.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
That's what I'm saying.
Unbelievable. I would have said 80s, definitely.
United States banned smoking on all domestic and international flights in 2000. This ban was a result of a series of laws and regulations that began in 73 and continued through the 90s. In 88, they banned smoking on domestic flights under 2 hours. In 1990, they extended the ban to domestic flights under 6 hours. In 2000, they banned it completely.
Well, we can go with 88.
70, but in 73, they decided to separate them, smokers and non-smokers, in that tube in the sky.
So we did. We
with the curtain. You'll be safe now.
Unbelievable.
Crazy times, man.
Yeah. Wow, 2000. Why does 2000 not seem that long ago? But it was 25 years ago.
Yeah, that's the turn of the century, and it's a quarter century ago, 25 years.
Yeah. I mean, I still remember. I remember those times. I remember like Y2K. I remember everybody doing stupid shit. You know.
Yeah.
Got to get your computer ready.
So, where does the 55 come in? Where does it? When does that happen? We're jumping all over the place, but that's fine. We're going to jump around.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I had a Corvette, and the Corvette wouldn't fit my skateboard or pretty much anything in it. It doesn't have a trunk. So I got a 68 Impala wagon that was all rusty and put in a 468 big block with a turbo 400, painted it with flames, and it was just this horrible, nasty thing. But it was rusty. And then I found a 72 K5 Blazer and yanked out the small block in that, dropped the 468 in that with some 72 valve covers. So it was that close to fit on the transfer case, but with a little sledgehammer and a little valve cover, we got it in there. And and then I had the future ex-wife was the Barker's Beauty that I married, and she was 60 miles away in Corona Del Mar, and at 5 gallons per mile on a big block four-wheel drive Blazer. That didn't last for, I had that not for 5 or 6 years. I should have never got rid of that Blazer. And that's why I'm saving up now for an RS4. And I know you don't do it yet, but I want a 72 3-door Suburban or square body Suburban on the RS4 chassis. I'm planting the seed.
We do them for that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I had that, and then I got rid of the Blazer, got a little 2000, whatever they are, the little S10 type Blazer.
Okay.
And then it's like, I didn't have a hot rod. I didn't have a real car, and I'm a hot rod guy.
Dude, that is like the epitome of a hot. How many? I mean, now you're talking about like in the '90s, the amount of small block swaps and pro street conversions, and that is a true hot rod. That little S10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great little car. It fit my skateboard, my water ski, all my crap, and it was D6, I think.
Sure.
And it was a good little car.
4.3.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
But then I wanted, so I started looking around. I initially wanted a 70 Chevelle wagon, and they didn't have those in 2 doors. And the 64 2-door wagons are unicorns. So then I look at the Tri-5s. They're kind of cool. And just like everyone, I thought every 2-door Tri-5 wagon is a Nomad. It's not a Nomad. So I found mine on eBay, and we were out water skiing at Lake Nacimiento, and I won the bid.
While you were water skiing?
Have you
While I was water skiing at
That's
the lake.
Is that a single ski or 2 skis?
Single ski, yeah, slalom.
Have you just got like a lot of things? Because I'm hearing everything that you're looking at. It's wagons, big 3-door Suburban, square body.
He
Suburbans.
moves through them.
What are you taking with you when you're like from A to B? What are you putting in these vehicles?
Oh, geez. What I need is a floor jack and jack stands now. But otherwise, I got fuel injectors. I got spare belts. I've got spare shoes, underpants, a sleeping bag, pillows. It's like I sleep in the back of the thing.
He carries
and
a
that's
lot
why
of shit.
it's like I'm talking. Yeah, all my stuff, just in case. You never know what's going to happen.
I think a 95 OBS Chevy center console would really.
That, from experience, that gets it done.
You can haul some shit in that.
All of it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I'm going to hop back a little bit. I'm not going to dredge up, too many bad memories, although it's been a long time. So he also was attracted to the same thing about Price is Right as I was. Not the shiny stuff. That was the Barker's Beauties thing.
Oh, she was shiny.
I figured. Well, I heard him talking. I figured I pulled one of my epic smoke bombs again when I was asking.
Talking about Bob Barker?
Bob was
yeah,
laying it
he
down.
put a ring on it before he could do anything with it. I want to know if your mom gave you the same advice on the Corvette. She's like, yeah, absolutely. Model on the show that you're working? Absolutely. Go for it.
Or was that mom's game plan with the Corvette? Get the Corvette.
But yeah, she gave me the advice. She at least needs to have a college degree. So, but she had passed away before she was able to meet her. Pop met her, and she put on a real good act for a while. And if you know a publisher, I wrote a book. I married a Barker's Beauty, but I need a publisher because otherwise she'll sue the shit out of me.
Did you really write a book?
Yeah, it's. I got it. It's on my computer, but I need I can't publish it. It's a cautionary tale.
I would absolutely love to read that.
There's got to be a way to
would-
make that available to the public.
If anybody's listening right now, that is a book that needs to be published, and let's shield Jeff from any repercussions.
Yeah, with all
Seal
the
me,
stuff,
yes, please.
With all the stuff people publish, you really would have some exposure on that. There's got to be a way to publish that.
Cartoon it. That's
That's your answer.
There you go.
Everything.
South Park gets away with anything.
Just animate it.
Yeah,
You
they
can
do.
do whatever. So you get the 55. What's your plan at that point, and what are you doing? What's your line of work at that point?
I don't even know. I know that it had a small block, AC, power front disc brakes, and power steering. And one thing it had that I wanted, but it was just an extra. The windshield wiper motor thing that sits on the firewall was already, I don't know if it's reindeer or whatever, it was already hidden up back
In the
beneath
cowl.
there. So that was already done. It had a turbo 350 transmission. I dropped a 700 R4 into it to make it more drivable, and then just Bilstein shocks, body mounts, and then just started driving it. And I started saving up like when I got it for the Roadster Shop chassis. And it drives me nuts when people, oh, it's a credit card build. It is what it is. Like, call it what you want. But and here's my story with that. I went from Art Morrison is known for the GTs or something like that. And then at the Chicago, I was a Chevy representative or product specialist. That's what I was. At Chicago, sitting in one of the trucks. I'm the guy, they wouldn't put me on Corvette or Camaro. But I'm the guy who works hard and plays harder, so I was on the trucks. And I'm talking to some guy in the truck, and this couple walks in front, and he's got this Nürburgring jacket on. I'm like, hang on one second, you in the truck. And I walked out, you with the jacket. Hurry, blah, blah, blah. Turns out he's friends with Stilo, and he's got this Chevelle called Wimpy, and the Corvette he had just bought called Fluffy, Chris and Linda Jacobs. Roadster Shop brand ambassadors. So like, no, you don't want that. You don't want that. You want the Roadster Shop. And they not only they build their stuff, but they drive their shit. It's like the Rampage and that. What's that damn the GoPro Camaro?
Yeah, the Rampage.
That was Rampage.
Yep.
Oh, what's the
Road Rage.
What's
Road Rage is the refined version of it.
what's the little truck? The Colorado.
The Colorado. Oh,
That's it. The color.
Yeah.
That I was at the Texas, the Great State Fair of Texas for a month when you guys were building that, and I called every day and bothered the lady on the phone. Tell me something. Send me a picture. You'll see it at SEMA. Leave me alone. But it's like, so it's from Chris Jacobs, and he turned me on to you
That's
guys,
awesome,
and it's like, yeah. So and then because of him, it was the C10 Nationals 2 or 3 years ago. He brought the Pale Rider.
Yep. Yeah, my
Is it?
legend truck.
He brought that out there and did all the things. I got to drive it, and then and then I invited myself for the tour, and you gave me the hell of a tour. So yeah, thank you again for that. That was amazing.
Absolutely, man.
So when you bought the 55, did you have any idea of starting the YouTube channel and start driving and start going cross country? Was that your plan then?
No, not at all. I was a naive idiot. I just wanted to drive it from LA out to Colorado to visit my brother, my dad. Just that was it. And then after the car or auto shows, not car show, I started doing Good Guys. And then from that, instead of flying, well, why don't I drive it? They love that I drive it, and I can put it in the Willwood display or the TMI display or Dakota Digital. Oh yeah, hi Justin. Got to make sure he doesn't keeps himself unfucked.
We're gonna cut that out.
Yeah.
I don't want
Okay,
Justin.
sorry.
I'm just kidding.
He gets too much love.
Justin gets
He's
so
the
much
best.
love.
He does.
Yeah.
Right?
Between
He
our
should.
videos and this stuff now, he's gonna have to start paying the piper. Man,
Yeah.
I tried to send him a text of the last one we did in the Blazers. Like, hey, just send the check directly to us.
yeah.
Fast forward to 12 minutes and 13 seconds. There's your plug.
Yeah. He needs a lot of those. Though. That's a big motherfucker. He's big.
Let's just send him a contract.
Right?
Yeah. All right.
So, yeah,
keep going.
I just built it to drive it, and it had the small block in it. And then I had this AAA commercial that got renewed, and I asked a friend of mine, it's like, what do I, and before I could get it out, he's like, LS it. So I found an LQ4, I think it was, and then had it gone through and called up Holly and Comp and had it all molly and had the engine done and dynoed and all sorts of things, and put that in, and then drove it until I think it was 2 or 3 years, and then through Jason at Gandred, Gandred Chevrolet LSX 376 B15, and through SEMA. I had known Dustin for years at Whipple, and I went down after Good Guys Pleasanton. I'd go and visit him and say hi, and his marketing guy called or emailed back, and it's like, yeah, we think the 3 liter is good for that. Like, wait, seriously? So then who do I get? Call up Wagner. You need their drive. So I called Wagner, and hey, I'm this idiot from wait, hang on. Hi, this is Casey. Casey Wagner. Yeah.
The
What do you
one and
need?
only.
So I told him, he's like, oh yeah, we're all in on that. Who are you getting your engine from? Like, I don't know. It's between this guy in Corona or Jason at Gandred. Oh, Jason's your man. So I called him. Jason, when you need it? November, something like that. Yeah, we can make that work. Click. Like, holy shit, right? Seriously? So I didn't coordinate with anyone, but as I went back down to Fresno to the supercharger, I videoed that getting put together and packaged up. It got shipped off. And then when I got to Wagner, he showed me the crate. And as they uncrated it, they have the little that little plate by the starter. My birthday's 10/10/68. It was built 10/10/22.
Oh,
My
wow.
birthday, and yeah. And I was
that?
there. The dyno test was 10/10/23. So it was like it was all put together, and I'm like, what the fuck? What am I going to do with this? 800 horsepower in this goddamn thing. And then it went in, and it's why didn't I do this 10 years? It's America. It is just, it's amazing. You know what I mean?
How many miles did you have on it in the first iteration before you chassied it and blown LS and all that?
I want to say about 100,000. I don't know. When I first got it, the odometer didn't work, so I went to North Hollywood Speedometer. They rebuilt it, and then I went to Shannon at Redline. They're up in not Silmar, but anyways, Redline Gauge Works. They did a little digital thing for it, and I had, I think, I don't know if it was 50 or 70,000 on it before Justin gave me the Dakota Digital RTX, and it was either 19 or 20, I think, and now I've got 86,000 on that. So under 200,000 since I've owned it, but last year I did 24,000, and the year before I did 26,000. So I'm averaging about 25,000 miles a year.
What is it like becoming so accustomed, in your muscle memory in a vehicle to every little, bump and, nuance of the steering wheel and little creak or lack of thereof for 100,000 miles? I mean, it's rare for anybody to drive a modern car straight for 100,000 miles, right? It's not
Except
not a common thing.
I think our wives knocked that out in about six months.
Right. Well, it's
locally within a 15-mile radius.
Right. It's not a common thing. Right. It happens, but let alone in a classic vehicle, right? And being in it every single day, but then doing a complete overhaul, chassis, motor, transmission. Like, there's a lot of changes there. Then you get back on the road. Talk us through some of that over like going over some of the same roads that how they're going to react, and you're like, oh wow, I didn't expect this.
I had built it up pretty much as I could. I had the HP. Somebody does a frame brace kit. I had the Viking and the Bilstein shocks. I had the body mounts, the polyurethane. I did everything that I could do to it, and the next step was to call up you guys. And so I called up Phil and met him out at the Texas Good Guys. He got underneath it because I had a CPP 29-gallon tank. He's like, oh, we only do 17 or whatever they are. And he got underneath it. Oh, we can fit whatever. So now I think it's a 25-gallon tank. So yeah, just went through that as far as I could. What gets me now is where did it happen first? I did Route 66. After I left, Phil took me out to lunch. What's the Chicago sandwich place?
Portillo's.
That's it. Okay. Delicious. I would have never gone there, but it's like really good stuff.
You can't miss it if you're out in Chicago.
Or Portillo's
that's
for
what- yes.
anybody from California.
Portillos.
So after that, I went to the beginning of Route 66 and drove it all the way to LA in the 55 because at Wagner I turned 55. The car's a 55, so 55 in the 55 on Route 66 kind of sounded good.
Sounds great.
So I did that, and I just got into Arizona, and there's this stupid bridge that's on the old section from 1926. That's a dirt road, and I blew out a wheel bearing. So called up Willwood, and Willwood he overnighted everything to Holbrook and found a floor jack and jacked it up in the dirt, and we got it fixed, and I got back out on the road, and it's happened twice last year. So Phil says you guys got a new sealed bearing thing coming up.
It is ready to go. That will never happen again. So
wait, seriously?
They're ready to rock. We're waiting for the
By the time this airs, we will be about a week away from some shipping to you.
You'll have a set in your hands.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm stoked.
Absolutely.
But the funny thing, the Glenwood Canyon in Colorado there's no exits, or there's one at Hanging Lake, but otherwise there's no safety, there's no shoulder. You got the river there, and you're up, and you got 17 miles of pretty much you're fucked if you break down there. The exit in Glenwood Springs, right before that, I go over a bump, my brakes go down, like, oh, it's a wheel bearing. Holy shit. Pull off, limp it over to this place. I'm like, well, how do you know? And we don't have anything to fix this. I've got my box right here for you, sir. What do you mean? I got my spindle, I got the bearings, I got the inner and outer, I got the da-da-da-da-da. Wait, what? You asked what I got in the back. It's like, it had happened before, so I talked to Mike, and it's like, dude, I need spares, because if it happens again and I'm in the middle of nowhere, I'm done. So, and they were really impressed. It's like, why do you carry spares? Because I'm an idiot and I drive my stuff. So
that's even more rare that you had like the right spare. Usually we've got a theory. If you bring a spare part, that part won't break.
Not the one you'll need.
Yeah.
We got to the point where we were carrying like everything from when we were doing all the autocross road race stuff.
Yeah.
Alternator would go dead. We'd put 2 alternators on the truck.
Or it's just blocked wrong for some reason. You got one that's just like new case. Like,
are you a diver?
Diver? I am.
Yeah. That's why you got 2. You've got one you always have 2 spares. So it's like I was coming through Kingman at one point, and I got up the freeway, and it's just chattering like, what's going on? I busted a valve spring. So it's like now I've got a set of 15 valve springs just in case.
Yeah, what's funny, we've done some road tours we pile some miles on, and in the early years, like we would take a big Rubbermaid tote and put everything in. I mean, power steering pumps, alternators,
everything to read. Yeah.
And it got to the
harmonic balancer.
Yeah, it got to the point where like we never opened it, we never used anything. That was the sign when we kind of I think we thought we figured out a package, right? Because in the very early stages, you might grab some fluids, maybe there was a pump or something, and as these things progressed, you wouldn't open it, and then all these things would come like out of inventory, and we'd get back to the shop and just throw this giant box like in the corner, and you open it up a few years later and you find about like $15,000 worth of spare parts.
Have a couple of those scattered
but
around.
yeah, you got to the point you just you quit using them. But I mean, the mileage you're putting on, that's it certainly doesn't hurt to have some of those key items.
But what a great feeling for you you've got the box in the corner, if you need it, but well, nothing's happened. So if you want to bring it, you just throw it in, you got everything, but otherwise it's built, and I've broken it and I've upgraded it. So it's like, hopefully it's not going to break again. And it's a pretty good feeling, right?
Have you got a pretty good like tool set that you bring with you, or have you accumulated the tool set on the road? Because we've had
Harbor Freight.
We've had some amazing tool purchases that have just accumulated over the years. Because again, we used to go out and it was like, get the car done. Well, fuck it, let's just go. Throw your bag in, and then you'd buy things along the way.
Yeah.
And the things we bought little like compressors for pumping air, and jacks and pry bars and all this crap from random truck stops, and just these you get the little socket sets that are like double sided with the 3/8 on one side and a 1/4 inch on the other, with these little baby handle, and it's
whatever it takes.
Quite the toolkit. But I imagine you got a pretty good setup for for what you need on the
I
road?
got a decent one. It's not a toolbox, but I've got some of the Craftsman small, medium, and large bags.
Okay.
And then a friend of mine, Mike Cotton, gave me this. It's a wire care, the cheap ass little plastic toolbox. And I don't mean that as an insult. I love it because it's small enough to fit in one of the bags. And I've got all my socket driver, and then all the metrics, all the standard, and then the Dakota Digital snap-on ratcheting screwdriver, some dikes, pliers, yeah, whatever else in that, and then belts in another bag. The bags are separated into whatever.
Hey, we're gonna use that little snippet. That's gonna be our leverage for getting this sponsorship from Justin, because it's been nothing but praise, like unbelievable praise.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, at this point,
there's specific tools that you need to carry with you. To
tune your gauges,
to service these gauges.
I'm not doing it nice anymore, honestly.
I question the amount of miles he put on it, because if Justin was involved in the odometer, that might be spinning quick.
That's where I'm going with it. Yeah. If this is his chance, Dakota Digital becomes a sponsor, right, of the podcast, or the amount of praise that we've given can also turn into negativity, and I think he's seen how dark it can get when we get negative.
We've got pictures.
Yeah. I don't think he wants that.
I hate to say it.
He definitely doesn't want that.
Yeah.
The only problem, I think, like in all the years of using their stuff, we've maybe had one issue.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
That's the one thing that always pops up, that like if something's like not working on the gauges, I'll walk out there and I'm like, well, guys, it's something in the wire. The fucking gauge is not broken. The gauge works. I promise you the gauge works.
It's always a ground.
Yeah.
Always a ground, right?
So now that Justin's heard both the positive and negative, we could flip-flop this. I laid the groundwork for two different scenarios here.
Oh.
See, and I'm hoping by the time that that new, what is it, C7, whatever your hub assembly gets there, he said that Dakota's got the new cruise control, some sort of cruise control for that'll work. So
cruise control that actually works. That'd be nice for Dakota Digital to finally come out with something that actually works. We're gonna snip that out. We'll use that if we have to.
And then I'll chime in and be like, because the LS stuff. I mean, the LS cruise control has been out for years. We use it on most everything. Is it?
You don't have the cruise control now?
He didn't hook you up with the
No.
Oh,
he said there's some new thing, and
maybe there's a new thing. But the LS cruise controls,
little stalk that goes in.
It's good to go. You just got to tear your column apart and feed it through there. But
am I the only one that never uses cruise control? I've never used it on a new car, a rental car.
Are you crazy?
Never.
Me neither. I'm with you. Yeah. Must have been our upbringing.
So if you rent a car, these new cars have you used the adaptive cruise control?
Yeah, it's weird. I'd use it on my truck. On a long trip, it's actually pretty nice. I watch a lot of TV when I'm driving, so it becomes.
If all these idiots out there parking in the left lane would use it, it's like there would be no traffic.
Right.
It's because if somebody jams in front of you, it slows down and keeps you 2 or 3 cars.
Here's my take on adaptive cruise control. So I am, believe it or not, I can be an aggressive driver. If I'm
we found that out last week.
Yeah,
overly aggressive driver.
If I'm on a trip and I'm in the left lane and I'm going a set speed, right? That's the speed I want to go, right? And I know that. I mean, I admit my faults, right? If my speed is 83 is my sweet spot, right? 83 is where I want to be at, right? Because it's a little more than 10 over, but it's not over where it's not that. Right. But I'm rolling. I'm rolling faster than most everybody out there, right? And we're making good time. So 83 is my speed. If you're going 81, I know you're still going pretty fast, but you ain't going as fast as me, right? So I'm gonna need you to just kind of get on over, right? And I generally, when we're talking about like longer trips, whatever, you see me coming, right? I'm in the left lane, right? 8 out of 10 people get on over, we roll, no problem. But it's the guy that doesn't want to, or the person that's there and doesn't want to get over. And then I could probably go over, but out of principle,
you're going to prove a point.
It's a teaching situation. It's a learning moment, right? For him, right? Sure. To know that you need to.
You want to place like 2 little 12 millimeter hex head tattoos on his rear bumper cover from the front license plate.
It also
kiss it.
It also depends on, if Jody's asleep in the passenger seat, and that guy's sitting there, then we might go ahead and just bump a little bit, right? We might just touch him just to and then Now, so that's the way I generally. Now, adaptive cruise control, right, will never allow you to get that close because if you just depending on where you set your gap, when you start rolling up, if I'm paying attention to a podcast or I'm something like that, I'm relaxing, I'm rolling, I might go 20 miles at 73 miles an hour, just pacing and drafting behind somebody. And then finally I look at it, I'm like, this is not going to do, right? You have now reduced my speed, and I've been calm for the last 20 minutes. It's a real conundrum because I don't have the anxiety at all until I've got it now, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. Now I've got to get over. I've got to reset the thing. I got to get it up to speed.
It's just too much work. Now, I could drive from here to California, and there could be zero traffic, not a car on the highway, and I still won't use cruise control.
But you don't stay at a constant speed.
No, I like change.
Right.
You got to vary it. You don't want to.
But at the same time, all the new, the customer cars, the cars we're building, we put cruise control in 90% of them, and the only time I use it is just to make sure it works.
Well, those are different. Yeah, that's. I generally don't ever use cruise control in something like when we're on road trips. I don't use cruise control. Because you are varying the speed. Especially
with the way I don't know how you would use cruise control because you're 90% of the time up somebody's ass in front of you. To the point, I'm an aggressive driver. I get irritated and I'll fuck with people and I'll ride their ass a little bit. But there's a window there, right? I see you will drive that fucker.
We get a close up on the look on your face right now.
You will drive that thing directly. I'm talking centimeters.
Deep stage.
You have to use the metric system to measure the gap between you and the car in front of you.
I've been driving longer than you.
And
aggressively.
Even me, and we don't need to say much, but even me, I'll be like, dude, take it easy. I think that's an old lady or something. Or I think it's a kid. You see the new driver sticker on the back, caution.
And that kid needs to learn a lesson.
It did in the fucking parking lot. Remember, you were fucking with that guy, and I made you feel so guilty. It was an old lady, and you're laying on the horn, and you're driving right in the back of her. You're
Incorrect. Incorrect.
You're an over-aggressive driver.
Well, that's that. Okay,
that's not really an insult,
right? So yeah, that's just a fact. He's an over-aggressive driver.
I'm not.
Compliment.
I'm not very. I'm extremely patient in most everything in life.
Yeah,
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not patient on the road.
I'm shocked.
Or in lines.
For the guy who can sit there and bedazzle 5 Roadster Shop necklaces that probably takes, 40, 50 hours?
I know. You know what?
And then you can't drive
That's Josh's
to
happy
lunch.
place.
You can't drive to lunch without having a meltdown.
Right here on this podcast, I just realized as you're talking through it, and we're already derailed. No, you know what? It's the narcissist in me because I'm fine taking the time because I'm going at my pace. There's nobody stopping me. Okay. When I'm in line, it's somebody that's holding me up. I can't stand in line for a fucking coffee. But if it took me 50 minutes to make a coffee at my own pace, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think it's getting out of control. I'm honestly at your age, I'm worried for you from a respiratory and a heart standpoint.
Blood pressure spiking. You see that vein
yeah.
It's just in lines.
Well, your meltdown in the fucking rental car line the other day. Our last trip was a series of Josh meltdowns.
Oh, that was honestly stupid.
Of a meltdown.
Yeah.
Were you guys out of Pomona?
We were. Yeah, we flew.
You were okay.
Flew into John Wayne. Flew into John Wayne in the rental car situation. Yeah. It's never great.
It was a Seinfeld moment. They know how to take the reservation. They don't know how to
hold the reservation.
Yeah, that was the problem.
But then he's like fourth guy back in line. There wasn't a big line. There's only 4 or 5 people. It was going real slow. And he just starts screaming at the lady behind the counter.
It was a rally cry. I got everybody in the line. They were with me. They were all we were about ready to riot.
Excuse me. What'd you tell her?
I don't. We're not going to.
What'd you tell her? What'd you tell her?
Here, is there another line I can go to?
I said, is there another location of this same brand that does this faster that we could go to?
Making friends as fast as you can meet them.
Yeah.
Hey, it's just part of it.
That's it.
That was terrible, though.
That wasn't on me.
Yeah, it was because you couldn't get the proper rental car. So
Because the app was down.
what happens when I get the rental car? Just walk right out, just get in the car and go.
Phil's a good rental car.
We can get in the car. We just don't know where we're going to go after that.
That's Apple's fault.
All right.
And then nobody carries the map anymore because of these damn phones.
Do you still have an old school map?
I have
Atlas?
20. Yeah, I've got a road atlas, and I used to highlight every new road I went on, and then it's just become a big cluster in there. So I still have it just in case, but I'm trapped by my stupid phone now too.
We were just talking about this the other day. I remember as a kid, we didn't go on many trips because we were poor, and my dad was.
And your dad probably didn't like you that much.
He didn't like us that much. But anyway, we'd go on some trips to visit family and stuff. We had I remember it was an '86 Oldsmobile Custom Cruiser station wagon, right? White wood grain back seat that looked out the back way.
Inhaling exhaust fumes.
Oh, absolutely, right. But that was
Night passenger, nice.
I was fine back there because I was in my own little world. But I remember leaving out. This is probably early '90s. There's no way he knew where he was going, right? And I remember the map, right? I remember like on the hood of the car, right? The atlas, and looking, well, if we take so-and-so up to so-and-so, then we can cut this so-and-so. The amount of paying attention that you would have to do driving back then, we take it for granted, right? Yeah. But you think about that when you're actually looking, like we've got to go up here and find that road sign to take. Like now.
I couldn't get to like a friend's house with GPS now. I've been there 10 times. Yeah. I couldn't figure it out.
I do everything by visual, right? So if I can do it 2 or 3 times, I'll remember and I don't need it, right? But then I can't tell you how to get there because I just do it visually. So I don't know the road that I'm on.
Yeah.
I just do it like, you go down there and I turn at the CVS and then I go up there a little ways and that weird house with the brown on it, I turn around. I do everything visual. But like we'll go out, we'll just be like, hey, we're going to head to Wyoming. And we just leave.
Yeah.
We're like, well, we're going to head that direction, and you start getting on stuff and then you figure it out along the way, it'd be
not entirely true. He'll punch in Wyoming in the GPS.
Yeah,
it gets us there.
It's going to take you there. It's going to get you to Wyoming, right?
We'll figure it out before we get there.
Pretty good chance it's going to take you down I-80.
I mean, honestly, like that's a completely different way of life.
100%. Yeah. And one of the things that I'm not trapped by, but I love that the phone, either Apple or Waze, either one of them will tell me, not a speed trap, there's a speed check ahead. Yeah, right. So even if I am going to a friend's house where I know where it is, then damn it, I feel like I have to put it in because then if there is one or if somebody's reported one, I'll at least get known so they're not going to pinch me. As my grandfather, did you get pinched? So I'm not going to get pinched by the police. And
that's a good call. What do you use for your technology in the car for like holding your phone, or do you have any like a double DIN, or you just do everything through your phone?
Everything through the phone, pretty much. I've got the Dakota with the speedometer and all those gauges there, but then it's just a little.
So you got
like a tripod that I'll use to shoot my YouTube stuff. It sits underneath I got with the armrest, TMI interior, and it's got 2 cup holders under that armrest. Okay. So I put the armrest down and it'll hold the phone right just perfectly so I can see it.
Jeff, we got you something coming. We got you something headed your way. It's going to change your life. What you've got to text me or email me what kind of phone you have, and it's something coming your way.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. That's okay, right. Yeah, iPhone 15. Yeah.
We're gonna Quad Lock's gonna hook them up. We're not going to. Quad Lock is, but we're gonna facilitate it. Yeah, Adrian's gonna facilitate it. But
so you guys were out at the Grand National Roadster Show. Did you see the evil van?
Oh, we saw it at SEMA.
Of course, we saw
that thing's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so Jeff Stiles, the guy who did that, I can't show it to you because I'm using it, but he just did my OtterBox case. He pinstriped the back of it.
Nice.
Super stoked.
Who owns that van?
Jeff Stiles, Oberman.
Here,
Jeff Stiles is his name. He's got dressed up in evil.
That thing's not for sale by chance, is it?
Everything is for sale if the price is right, baby. Come on.
That thing is fucking wrong. Awesome.
It's badass, right?
Me and Mike O'Brien have been on a major van kick right now. Both of our marketplace feeds are nothing but vans, and I'm shifting all around the country. The problem with vans is they just don't exist. Like from a project car standpoint.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
And I'm trying to
Really?
dude, they don't. Oh, dude, that van is bitching. Did you?
That van.
All the vans we saw at the Roadster show.
Wasn't the baddest van at the Roadster show.
No, that Chevy, that
blue
shorty
one?
Chevy that Ron
Covell was sitting
holding up in. Yeah,
we're gonna post that picture.
We are.
Yeah.
Covell's got a van.
Covell was in a van.
He hangs out in vans.
Yeah,
I don't doubt that.
there was a blue one
by
out
the river.
A blue one outside between building like 5 and 6, I think, on Friday. Yeah, a little shorty Chevrolet, back off mud flaps on
Side
it, had the right
pipes.
side pipes.
But it had, which I never knew existed on the van. I've always, in my head, I pictured I want to take a early Chevy, 70s Chevy shorty, and have the side trim on it so you could two-tone it like a square body. I never knew they actually made them with side trim.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
the nice ones had trim.
You'd never find one. But that van right there, try to find that van somewhere.
It's essentially the same as a square body trim. Same
It
like
is.
little profile and all that stuff runs right into the taillight.
Yeah. See, that's the thing that, and there's
Lengths and cuts for all the different doors.
Well, it's obviously different trim. But
I mean, you're not going to find that trim. You got to find an original van with it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, we're talking about, I mean, me and Mike are brainstorming some product ideas because vans, if we find the honey hole where all the vans are hidden, where people can buy them in order to modify them,
we're safe.
Yeah, you're going to see some. You're going to see some.
I think they're
RS
cool,
van
but as far as like brainstorming on product ideas, maybe we're a little early.
You think so?
Or late.
It's better to be a little early than a lot late.
Yeah, we're
100%. Yeah.
We're about 50 years late.
Mean, for a guy that piles those kind of miles on, how great would a van be for those kind of road trips?
Yeah. Super awesome. But that's why I'm going to the suburban assault vehicle. And it's like on your Legend series, right?
Legends,
We do it on Legend, yeah.
Those KC highlighters.
Yep.
They make the trucks. They are the cool. When you took me on that tour, it's like they're on all the front of they make the trucks.
Yeah.
Well,
Your chassis are one thing, but those KC highlighters are so badass,
dude.
I love them.
100%. And these guys give me. I'm a little older than them, right? So They don't appreciate the same television of my youth. Now, there was one show in particular that made the KC highlighters and that life. And as you're talking about driving that Vet in Southern California, working that show, all that can go through my head is Chips, right? I loved Chips, right?
Ponch and John and John's truck, and they'd go dirt bike riding, and they'd pull the dirt bikes out of the back of it, and I think that was essentially what a square body should be. Yeah. I love Chips.
Dude, I could.
What about the Fall Guy and Heather Thomas?
Well,
I had to add Heather Thomas. Sorry, but the Fall Guy's truck is.
Me and Jeff are going to hang out. Me and Jeff became friends.
The Chips, man.
You have no idea how many times I've shown them the Heather Thomas entry in the bifold doors in the blue bikini. Yeah, I do.
That was a little before time I can get down on that.
Ask me about Fall Guy.
Always be Chips reruns on when you're homesick from school, and it'd be fucking horrible.
It's not horrible.
What?
Not good.
Oh,
Not good.
The entry would be an 18-minute long car wreck to set up the entire episode of what was going to happen. There's going to be a guy hauling produce that jackknifes the truck, right?
There's COE.
In the COE, and there's a station wagon that rolls under it. There's going to be a snot-nosed kid in the back that gets pinned, right? Turns out the produce was actually filled with drugs, right? So now they're going to have to figure out what the hell's going on.
For me, when I was a kid, we only had.
And Ponch and John will get to the bottom of it no matter
exactly.
what. Where we only had 2, 5, 7, 9, and 32. So when you were homesick, your options were Chips, Cheers. Cheers was always on.
Cheers is a good one too.
You get prices right.
There was some bullshit sitcom. What do they call the stuff that was on during the day? What do they call those?
Just soap operas.
Soap opeers.
Okay.
And then you had Price is Right. Price is Right all fucking day long. I'd watch that over and over again
for the shiny stuff.
Well, dude, Chips.
Things.
I don't know. I feel like there was always little homosexual innuendos. I feel like
Chips.
Yeah, there's just something about it. Even as a kid, it just felt like it just didn't feel
What
right.
the hell's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Punch and
I'm
John.
not disagreeing with you.
All they did was lay it down nonstop.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
Ponch got all the babes.
Yeah.
just putting it out there, dude. That's
all right. You're gonna have to
the way
go
I
back
felt.
and watch it. Fall Guy though, yes. Fall Guy is yeah. Fall Guy's
that truck is
jam.
bad to the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fall Guy truck's cool. What's not cool is the remake of Fall Guy.
Oh, I agree.
Dude, wow.
We had I think we talked about this before. Josh had a viewing party, put in a new little theater thing in his basement.
Ruined.
I think that was
Ruined.
I think that was the debut.
Oh.
He was working hard on this thing, building up, and we go over there, and this is going to be the big unveil. It was not tolerable.
No one came in with the highest of expectations of the movie. However,
Yeah,
when you
That'd be
come
entertaining, though.
in with very low expectations, and you're also contemplating stopping watching it in the middle of it because it was so bad, that movie
a tough one.
sucked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tough.
sucked. All right, so yeah, we are everywhere.
Are you still dailying the Pale Rider?
I park it for the winter just because of the salt, but as soon as the salt's off the road, then I'm back at it. Because
What's your daily now?
I finally had to buy. I didn't have a daily other than that for years.
Oh.
And I drove it in the winter longer than I should have, and some things rusted up on the exhaust and some shit like that I'll fix. But I finally had to get like a new truck, and I got a 24 GMC 2500, which sucks. Absolutely sucks.
It was brand new.
It was brand new. It was brand new until my mom came to drop the kids off after a night of watching them. And it's a hard truck to see, when it's in the driveway. So she drove past it pulling in the driveway, and apparently 2 seconds later forgot that it was there and then backed into it at about 100 miles an hour in the driveway.
You must have a long driveway.
It's about 15 feet long. I'm say 10 feet.
At the speed she had to have hit it at. I'm surprised it didn't put it on the side.
Tip it over.
So it's a little worse for wear right now, but I can't.
But that thing, it's a monster inside. You got the filing cabinet, center console, heated and ventilated, heated steering wheel. It's nicer than my house.
It's in a phenomenal interior.
But to be honest, I would trade it all day long for that Legend truck. I can't wait until the weather gets better to park it and get back in that Legend truck, because I can't stand the truck, to be honest with you. If you need to pull something or do something, it's there. It's it serves
That's
a
what
purpose.
it's made. Is it diesel or gas?
It's diesel.
Okay, it's a pulling machine.
Yeah, but it doesn't do that well. It can do it. It doesn't do that well, but it does it.
Let's get that lane avoidance crap that just keeps.
Yeah,
I hate that.
It's got to be.
That drives me nuts.
To be honest, we've had a lot of GM trucks over the years. It's got to be hands down the worst thing GM's ever built. It's fucking horrible.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's a statement.
I've been following along the blue and white. It's got a short bed on it.
The crew cab.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your take on long beds versus short beds?
I love that thing. It's long, short. I don't care. I know it's supposed to have a long bed historically, but
the internet
that thing is bad to the bone.
Yeah. Well,
if you find yourself bored, and
Chris took it down. I think
the comments.
Yeah,
really,
they were hurtful. They were really fucking hurtful, man. I didn't instruct him to do that, but I didn't see it on our Facebook.
Gotta love the haters.
If you go to the YouTube, and
YouTube's pretty positive.
It was the Instagram or Facebook?
It was Facebook.
There's posts of that and Jeremy doing a video. I think it was YouTube's got some not nice ones.
I'm sure there's a handful.
But anyway, he made the statement about the short bed, right? We've talked about it before. We've read some of the actual hate mail that came through, right? There's actual literal, somebody took the time to send emails specifically about that video and how pissed off they were about Jeremy's statements on it.
That's amazing.
And I mean, I get it. They are hurtful. Man, they don't hurt me.
You're really good, by the way, on those videos. Annoyingly good. You make it look really easy.
They're easy cars to talk about because the guys do a great fucking job with them. So they're
nicely
fun.
said. It's
Thank you.
Congrats on being gay. With the
Josh has him framed like in his hallway. You walk down. It was like Dan Gurney's place. Just of all the quotes.
This is all the comments.
People are savage. I mean, even like
I felt bad for you. Honestly, I was like, dude, come on, that's my friend.
My son is so into the Roadster shop, and I picked him up just unannounced to do that video. I mean, that was not scripted. I just grabbed him, and people even they talk shit to a 13-year-old kid. You're like, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't see any of
you're
that.
a grown man, and you're saying like hurtful things about this kid. Like
You're commenting and stuff on the internet. That's
I guess, yeah, but it's rough. But
It's not, if it's around the water cooler, no one's going to say, that's the ugliest hat I've ever seen. You're going to get a punch in the face,
Right.
slap in the mouth, something. But this day of the keyboard warriors and the social media, anybody can say anything with no repercussions. It drives me nuts.
I think you should test the waters, and I think your car is super bitching, but I would go out there and say that, fuck a Nomad, a handyman wagon is way better looking. And then just throw it out on there.
See what happens?
Yeah, and be like, prove me wrong.
Engagement's always good.
Oh man, yeah. That's why I say you got to love the haters. Remember that Howard Stern movie decades ago?
Yes.
One of the things in the movie was, well, how are his ratings? He's number one, and people listen to him for 2 hours. How can that be for 2 hours? All right, well, what about his haters? The haters listen to him for 4 hours. It's like, it's like, and I remember with like Freiberger, Finnegan, and Cotton and Newburn and those guys, like, love the haters, embrace them, because they, even though they hate, they watch and they comment, and it's like, you got to love them, embrace them.
Dude, it happened. I'll tell you what, it happened to me. My kid's into all these YouTube channels. He like Cletus's stuff and everything that's automotive related. So at one point he was watching the Whistling Diesel stuff, and this was like early on. And I'm like, dude, why are you watching that? That's complete crap. I'm like, turn that stuff off. That's ridiculous.
You were not a fan.
I was not a fan, right? Well, a couple of weeks ago, I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and I'm just kind of like, lazy Sunday morning, and I'm watching a video, and he's like peeks over my shoulder, and he's like, why are you watching Whistling Diesel? He's like, I thought you said that sucks. And I caught myself, I'm like, it's actually entertaining. Like, it's actually entertaining. Now I'm eating my words, because like,
hey, dude, he knows what he's doing.
He's a smart fucking kid. Mm-hmm. He's a smart kid, and it's actually pretty. I mean, some of the things where he like smashes some stuff, I'm like, ugh, but he's a smart guy, man.
He knows what he's doing.
But yeah, like I.
You want to look at it from the other side. You're like, guys,
I ate my words on that one. For sure.
Yeah,
we're off.
Where did we go? Where did we go?
Yeah, well,
we attempted talking about
the damn
his car.
YouTube thing.
Yeah, we ran.
My nephew was watching this guy, and it's like, what the hell are you watching? So I just ignored him until, like it. If you don't like it, subscribe to my channel. You'll never get a girlfriend. I'm like, don't you talk to my nephew like that. I take huge offense. He's my little buddy. So you shouldn't watch anybody that's telling you you're not going to get a girlfriend if you don't like and subscribe. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him. So when, take us through a little bit about, like, I'm interested in the progression of, Price is Right, Hollywood, we're getting gigs left and right. The car's getting paid. I'm buying a 55. I'm doing slalom, single ski, to actually, I mean, you've had a career, right? But then you've had your hobby. So when did the hobby and the career become one? When did you start getting gigs at, Hot Rod? When did the good guy stuff, when did this become an actual thing that you're getting paid for?
So at some point, I was doing, I auditioned for a product specialist for Chevrolet, like Chicago Auto Show, Detroit, LA, the auto shows, not car show. And as I'm doing that, a friend of mine, Clarence Barnes, calls me up and says, hey, do you want to co-host the Hot Rod Power Tour with me? It's like, well, how much do I have to pay? It's like, we'll pay you, you idiot. It's like, you're going to pay me to go on the Hot Rod Power Tour? Done and done. Done deal. So a few phone calls later and whatnot, I started doing that. I've been doing it ever since. And from that, it was from Hot Rod Power Tour, there were the Carcraft Summer Nationals back when Carcraft was still around. So I did that for a few years. And then I met Bam and Kyle, Trevor Tester.
Yeah.
I can't call him Trevor. Bam.
Yeah.
Anyways, Bam. Where the hell was I going with this?
That's why he goes by Bam.
Who's Bam?
Truck driver.
Right?
Oh, okay. Got it. Get it.
Where was I going with Bam? Anyways, what were we talking about?
Prestone.
Just got sidetracked.
Prestone,
okay, so
had to be
there with
Prestone.
Prestone comes out with their 90th anniversary party. They had that Javelin that they built, and they were doing this 90th rally from Westworld in Scottsdale to the LA Auto Show. So I'm never on time. I'm always early. So I get to Westworld in Scottsdale early, and there's this yellow Camaro and this guy's sitting there, and this beautiful 69 Camaro, Lincoln Filter engine, DSC, all sorts of good stuff. And it's Ed Capon, who used to be with the good guys. And so I just drove this from Texas. I'm like, you're a liar. There's no chips on this. There's no bugs on this. Bullshit. I just drove it from Texas. So basically, Ed and myself, we lost everyone else and rallied. I couldn't keep up with him on a hit, but that's when I just had a small block and the 700 R4 in it. But from 80 to above 80, I cruised with him all the way to LA and made it to the show and hung out at the show. And he, what do you do? And it's like, so he hired me, or he brought me in to the good guys doing the autocross there. And now he's with Barrett Jackson now, and I'm still with good guys. And
we're
that's kind of progressed.
Great friends with Ed.
Yeah,
we go back a long way. Ed's
he
been on the
used to have a
podcast.
corner on all of those Indy Racing League cars.
Ed's got got like 14 fingers, and
Right?
there's always a few of them in different pots.
In everything. Yeah.
14 fingers.
Yeah, he's a
but-
great
but
guy.
only 2 feet, and both of them are in Puma shoes.
Both of them are. Yeah, he's a driver. He's a wheelman.
The reason the car didn't have any chips on it is because Ed had a painter full time that would pay him to come and paint cars.
Oh man, that painter he's still got down. I'm not going to call the guy's name, but he's got a painter down in Phoenix and south of the airport. I've been there. We used to park our trailer there. That dude, I don't know what Ed has on him, but it would be, and I mean, good, nice, awesome quality paint. I mean, gapped and everything like that.
Got this done for $3,800.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you don't have 30. It's $3,800 in primer. Like,
You can't buy that.
I was just
tape
going to
and
just for a
paper
gallon of
that.
paint. Yeah.
it's,
I never heard about this guy.
oh yeah, yeah. Ed,
What did he paint for Ed?
Everything.
yeah, all the
his
cars.
hot
Ed, yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got some
I
connection.
think he pays Ed to paint cars at this point.
I don't know what's going on. I like Ed.
Yeah, it's good.
Last I was talking to him, a few years back when I first started, he had I think it was 13 IROC Camaros.
Yeah.
And one of the stories I heard is that he got one of them was like $700, but he didn't need the hood or he didn't need the T-tops or something. So the guy gave him like $400 back for that, and he got it for $300. Like, you thief! Just pay him the $700 or $800, you cheap bastard! And he just laughs.
What he didn't tell you is that's why he got kicked out of his last neighborhood, because he had all 14 of them in the front yard in fucking Scottsdale.
You're right.
How does he not have a mullet?
Yeah.
What's he got that's running and driving now, Ed? What's he got going on? Has he finished anything recently?
Hot rod stuff, I don't think. No, he's building that. He's building a third gen.
Okay.
He's fucking around with a third gen.
Still,
Yeah. I think that's his
Nice.
third gens are his baby. He's a
his
third gen
wheelhouse,
guy.
right?
Product
there.
of his generation.
Yeah. You think he's a? We're bagging on everybody today.
When they're not
If
here, you know.
if Ed Capon has to hop in, this is a what if situation, right?
Okay.
Ed's got a cherry black Z28 with the gold stripe on the bottom, right?
Sure.
He's hopping in. He's got 2 tapes to choose from to pop in, right? Metallica,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Ed listening to Metallica.
REO Speedwagon.
I don't think either. Honestly, I don't think either. I think
So he's
it's like,
tossing those in the
I
back.
think it's like Neil Sedaka. Or
No.
it's something weird.
See, I would've said
Yeah.
Whitesnake.
Yeah, it's something weird. It's
Oh,
I'm
pour
telling
some
you.
sugar on me.
Yeah,
Something weird.
it's not something weird.
Ravi Shankar.
Dude, you never
No.
know. It's like, people look at my dad, right? And they would have thought, like, man, I bet you that dude listens to, like, I don't know, Waylon Jennings, right? What did we listen to for 2,000 miles?
A lot of Cher, a lot of Serious Love, was it? Or
Serious Love on XM radio for 2,000 miles. Barry fucking
wait,
Manilow.
Cher?
Oh, yeah, Cher.
Are you fucking serious?
No.
Absolutely.
You poor bastard.
Yeah.
Her name was Lola.
Take that story back.
Dude, you never know. That's
Take it back.
what I'm seeing with Ed. It's
No.
It's not as it appears. There's something else there.
Reba.
Paul Simon.
A little before his time, but maybe. I could see a Reba. I just having a huge Reba McEntire.
Just fancy
Oh, yeah.
on repeat.
And spending an astronomical amount of money to be like backstage and on the floor for concerts.
Reba.
Sorry I brought you into this, Ed.
Oh, he's getting shredded. Oh man.
Right?
This is good. pull.
That's the beauty. It's almost like being on the internet and making mean
Yeah, we
comments
just-
at you. We're
we
just
just
fucking shooting.
We could just pick on people.
Ed, Justin, Tim, sorry, all you guys.
At what?
Yeah, the other two deserved it.
Don't apologize to Tim because I stand by my statement. You're a better looking guy than Tim, flat out. Anybody disagrees, send Jeremy the email.
I've been meaning to go to I want to go to the SEMA show party, but it starts at 9 and I'm in bed by like 8:30.
Dude, bullshit. So you partied across the street at Happy. You're telling me that you go to bed at 9 o'clock when you're in Vegas. I don't believe it.
Oh yeah. I get up early and I go to sleep early. It's pathetic. They'll make fun of me. So at some point maybe this year I gotta suck it up and come to the party.
Yeah, you got to, man. I mean, we've done some responsible things. We've turned in early a handful of nights, but let that be the one that you hang it out.
A handful of nights.
Thursday night's not the one. Thursday night's not the one. Wednesday night has become the thing where we try to be smart because we know what's coming the next night. I'll tell you what, though,
it really, we tell each other every time we do it. We did it at the last week we were in California. Like there's always that option. You reach that pivotal moment where it's like either walk right up to the hotel room and go to sleep, or you're headed to the bar.
We were in bed early.
We all made and then
we're at 9:45.
We're up at like
I think it was earlier than that.
6:30. We're at the gym. Everybody's chipper. It's like, man, dude, we should do that more often. That feels great.
It's not near as much fun though.
No stories come from that.
At what point, we talked about, Hot Rod, you meeting Ed, good guys, all this stuff coming in. At what point does it dawn on you? It has to be one of these times you're driving across the trip. What point does it dawn on you where your hobby, everything that you've always been interested in, you're like, holy shit, I'm making a living doing this. That's crazy being able to actually transition to this because I don't know, but it doesn't seem like that there was ever been a plan. It's just been like on to the next ride, whatever happens next, which is great.
Like you said earlier, right place, right time kind of, but within last year or the past few months, one of my pop's friends, Patty, she's a glass artist, and she was asking how this came to be and made that comment that you've kind of made your own niche or your own industry, your own little thing. It's like, well, yeah, that's kind of when it dawned on me. But it was in 2020, all the Good Guy show got canceled. The Power Tour was canceled. Basically, every event got canceled. So I was done that. I didn't have anything that year. And a friend of mine, Jessica York, this awesome host, has told me for years, it's like, you should be doing YouTube. It's like, why? That's stupid. I don't need to do that. You go to you're a product specialist at Chevy in Detroit, LA, all the big 3 auto shows, and then all the little ones. You get access to I got to sit in the C7 or the C6R race car. I had access to a bunch of really cool shit and just took it all for granted. And she's like, people love the behind the scenes stuff. It's like when I was on The Price is Right, my brother and sister-in-law came out to visit, and we weren't taping that week. So when I got him onto the stage, like, hey, I'm really sorry we're not taping. Yeah, this is the coolest thing ever. We've got access to everything, and no one's. So I was like, oh, it's all perspective. So people love behind the scenes stuff. So that's what I'm a day late and $1 short for getting started. 5 years ago during the COVID thing, but that's what I've been trying to do is give a little bit of like when I'm at the Hot Rod Power Tour, I drive up Nashville Super Speedway. I get to drive in. Everyone's waiting in line. Who's this? Or at the C10 Nationals. Who's this asshole in a 55 Chevy at the truck show? It's like, I'm the asshole. Sorry. Not sorry. Drive through the thing, get the camera out, video that. I drive up to the stage, get out of the car. This is my office for the day. This is what's going on. I get out on the track. It's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
It's like I invite myself to the roaster shop and walk in, and Phil's like, I'm not doing this. And we get Jerry. So I get a behind the scenes tour of the roadster shop, which it's pretty
Phil
awesome.
To loosen up a little bit for being probably the best looking guy on staff.
Not probably, he is. I'm gonna give him that.
Yeah,
especially when he had his longer hair.
I feel like he's just.
You like the long hair?
Oh, yeah, the long hair is
Phil's long
beautiful.
hair. Phil, I'm glad he cut it because I was tired of hearing our fucking wives talk about it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
We just had a conversation about it out at the Roadster show. He told me about like how hard it hit him, my reaction, because I came in and he said I just gave him a look, kind of like a father being disappointed with the son, and I just kind of like shook. I was like, dude.
He could have killed a kitten, and I would have taken it less hard.
Yeah.
That cutting that hair was something else. But at the same time,
it was really tough for me to do it. But I just kind of went right into the barber. I'm like, let's take a couple inches off the top. And
it just came out on its own.
We gave Phil Smunt a little bit of it at the Roadshow show last week, just a little bit of behind the scenes. But you have no idea what our wives would say behind his back about that fucking hair. Good grief! All right, calm it down. Right, I'm right. We're right here. Okay, take it easy. There's joking, and then there's like you're starting to piss me the fuck off. All right, so this is season 4, right? So we've talked about it before.
We've been doing this for 4 years now.
Yeah, four fucking seasons. We talked about it before. We're not doing standard questions anymore. We're just going to do rapid fire questions, right? Because there's always
talked about that.
I wasn't involved in those conversations. Were you?
Or I don't remember, which happens periodically. So rapid fucking fire, huh?
We're doing rapid fucking fire because there's always those questions that pop up in an episode, right? Yeah. And you're like, man, we're going to do some standard stuff, but we're going to change it up.
The standard questions could be getting a little played out.
Yeah, played out. We're changing it up. Sure. Changing it up. So one of the things I've got to ask is, holy shit, I
psyched you up.
Fucking, you absolutely fucked me up.
These rapid fire questions pre-written down, so he sounds smart.
I could fire away because
I had it. Go ahead.
I got one.
Go ahead. Man,
what was the contract through Price is Right with Jordache as a manufacturer? Because if I recall, it's almost like a joke that like everything they're like, and you win a brand new set of luggage from Jordache.
Jordache never made
I swear to God, it was everything. They'd be like, and a brand new SUV from Jordache. Like, fucking Jordache makes SUVs? Am I right? I feel like everything
like
was
the Cartier
made,
edition, but the Jordache edition.
Everything was made by Jordache.
I think your memory's a little foggy on that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But and then I always thought, too, I'm like, this poor motherfucker just got a luggage set from Jordache. Out of all the things they could have got, what are they going to do with the luggage set from Jordache?
Take it out to Pomona, the Grand National Roaster Show. Check their bags, baby.
I saw a worse
one.
Of a woman
everyone
in a
thought
that won skis.
That everything's donated, but there's a prize budget. Okay. So they've got a Z06 that they're giving away on Golden Road. They've got to go out to Gander Chevrolet and buy a Z06. It's like Eggland's Best Eggs were $219. So it's like those are, I think, fee items. Where they pay to get in, where it's like the what is it on cliffhangers? You got to pick this and that, the grocery items, but otherwise everything is pay to play, and there's no real contracts. At least I think that's how it was.
It has to be that way because I mean it was smart television, and there's been smart people in television for a long time. You look at things now, and you see a little bit behind the scenes. Fuck.
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
See, I'm your support.
It's coming back. I've changed this one up, but I'm coming right back to it.
Something to do with Jordache?
No, nothing. All right, enough with the Jordache. All right,
Z Cavarici.
So, when behind the scenes, you're looking at the audience, right? There's people that are doing that. There has to be the ones that they want on camera, right? They know the ones that are going to bring it, right? How much on the audience side is audition wise?
There's 330 seats. Back before Drew started, there were 330 seats in stage 33, Studio 33. So they would wait in line, and some of them from out of town, see at the Farmer's Daughter across the street. They stay wherever the hell it was. But I know Barker's last week, some people were out for over a week. They were waiting in that line. So at a standard Price is Right taping. Oh yeah. That was for Barker's last. He had 35 years on that show, 50 years on TV. It was kind of historic. But at one point, I was the contestant coordinator, and I would go out and sit in the producer's chair, and people would call, I'm not the producer. No. I'm sitting in the chair. But there was I would interview every single person that was in line, and we would pick the 9 best and 1 alternate to go on the show. And when people, what do you pick? Well, you've seen the show, right? Yeah. If we're going to give you a pair of Jordache jeans, or a dishwasher or a new car, what are you going to give us? So I was like, Jeremy, where are you from? What do you do? Well, I'm retired. Well, you suck. And I wouldn't say you suck, but
you're not
if you're retired
picked.
but if you say I'm retired, it's like, don't What do you do? Well, if I was in the Air Force for 30 years, and now I'm an artist. I do Western art. That's my dad. But it's like make it exciting,
that's your
or
guy.
whatever it is you do. So then
You got to tell a story. You got to tell a story.
Tell a story. And there was a bartender over at the farmer's market. This girl who was, well, I want to be on there. Well, I'm a stunt woman. It's like, no, I'm not. Nobody in Middle America gives a fuck about a stunt woman. No one cares. Well, I watched it with my grandma. Wait, you watched The Price is Right with your grandma when you were a kid? Yep, that's gold. There you go with that. And so, anyways, it's like if we're giving you a dishwasher, you've seen the show before. What are you giving us on screen to be happy? I mean, be excited. So you got 9 chances out of 300 and some people to get chosen, and it's completely organic. There's no coaching. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like the last of the old. And I know when Barker was there, I was there hundreds of times where to the second he would bring that show in an hour to the second.
Really?
On time, no edit. Yeah, they would edit a little bit, but they really didn't want to. And they didn't have ISOs on every camera, meaning that every single camera had its own videotape recorder.
Yeah.
It was whatever whatever the director's on that's all that's being recorded. So
he's able to work that much on the fly and run it through.
Oh, he was. If Bobby was the stage manager, and if Bobby told him you're 3 seconds over, you're 20 seconds over, whatever it is, he had the clock in his head to talk and to do that for, well, whatever the second was, and could bring it in. And Bobby, okay, we're done. And it's like, and usually there's a lot of pickups. And when Rod Roddy died from cancer, and the new announcer came in, Rich Fields, and Rich was used to having to do pickups on other shows, and he never had. Rarely do you do them on Price is Right. So it's cool to see somebody come from the outside. It's like, this is a machine. It's a well-oiled machine. So it's pretty. It's like it's an old school Hollywood show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Where I was going with it on the behind the scenes, but quick, while I just thought of it, was he getting a kickback from the ASPCA, or did he really give a shit about spaying the dogs? Because
the only time
was that a thing?
He wore leather shoes on the show, and I think it was a leather belt on the show. I'm not positive, but otherwise he didn't wear leather. He was a vegan. I don't know how you say it. Okay, vegetarian, vegan. Whatever yeah. So he's legit. He didn't get any kickbacks, and I've got a picture. I auditioned and got my own game show when I was there. And I asked him if I could say at the end of my game show, have your pet spayed neutered. I'd be honored, Jeff. And I have Mira and Carol, the hair and makeup lady, to hear it. We heard it, Jeff. You're good. So, yeah. So it's like, gotta honor the old man.
I don't remember that part.
At the end of it, every single time.
Help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. So long.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Attention span. I really fell short of.
But I'm getting this picture. I didn't know that Bob was a vegan. I didn't know. I'm starting to get little snippets. I want to know what his house looked like at the heyday. I've got this Brady Bunch / like psychedelic fun pad. Not that.
It's an old Mission style house.
Really?
Get this shit. His last day, I'm working at my desk. And Rod, you're the producer. Jeff, can you go pick up Barker and, bring him in? And I usually would have brought I called it the red car, the Corvette, but I picked him up in that old, whatever that year Blazer was. And I picked him up at his house and waited. I've been up there a few times. He had 13
Jeff
or
and
14
Bob in the
hanging
Blazer.
out, drinking tequila. He had all of his Emmys in this bookshelf. You walk in the door and the study is right over here, or the waiting room, whatever it was, and he had all of his Emmys on this little bookshelf over there. So I got a picture of all those, and but we talked about his interviews that morning across the world or across the nation on his way in. But I think it's on the National Register of Historic Places. It's on Outpost Drive. If you look at the Magic Castle, you've heard of that, right?
Yeah.
In Hollywood, it's on the side of that or down. It's in that area, but in the Outpost Estates. And then there's I think it's Franklin Boulevard. The D. Dorothy Joe was his wife, and anyways, there's this park. He bought this land, and it's a park but his house is still there. I think I'm not sure if it's sold yet. But yeah, it was on Outpost, and then he's got the Dorothy Joe Park across the street from there.
Mid-century style house.
No, it's like a Spanish adobe.
Okay.
He bought it back in the Mission. Thank you. He wanted to be in the by the beach initially, is what he had said, but it was always foggy at the beach, so he bought it in Hollywood so he could work on his tan. As the story goes,
fucking laying it down,
right?
I called it from the beginning.
Give me shit about working my tan. On the steps of Bob Barker. All right, we talked about behind the scenes. Now I want to know, you were in the hobby of muscle cars, hot rods, trucks, all this stuff. You read every hot rod magazine. But you're doing your thing, right? You're living in Hollywood. You're doing stuff, and as it starts to transition, as you're starting to get paid and make this a career, you start to get to see behind the scenes, behind the curtain. We talk about behind the curtain. I use the Wizard of Oz analogy all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So when there's times, and it's not all bad and it's not all good, right? But it's just an analogy. There's times that you get to see behind the curtain sometimes, right? And you can't plan it. There's just a time that you're meeting with somebody and doing this, and all of a sudden you see behind the curtain of how the sausage is made, right? And you're kind of like, oh, damn, okay, now I get it. What was that moment in the hot rod world for you? And was it good or was it bad? Or was it, middle ground where you're just kind of like, oh, okay, now I see how this is done. I held it here. Now I get that it's just a business. Everybody's got that story, right? Of like, okay, I get it now.
Hot rod wise, I'm not sure. I remember years ago, my parents came out. Oh, they brought up my bike and some speakers in a U-Haul trailer, and the Corvette was going to work on Jag, and I was going to bring them up to the set. So I had my pop riding shotgun with me up to Newhall from Santa Monica, and my mom's in a rental car behind us. My pop's excited. He meets Catherine Bell and hang out all day.
Absolutely.
Not even all day, but my mom was bored stiff, just bored to pieces. And it was such an interesting perspective because I remember her saying, is this all you guys do is just hurry up and wait? It's waiting around. It's like, yes, that's all it is. They have to set up this shot for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 3-4 hours, however long it takes to set it up. Then they got to get it right. And then they break it down and get the next shot. And it's all hurry up and wait. And Pop was like a kid in a candy store, thought it was really neat. And Mom was just bored. So it was a really neat perspective. Yeah. Dichotomy. Because she saw behind the scenes, like, this is it. It would have been neat for me I would have loved for her. She never got to see The Price is Right.
That would have been her thing.
That. I think she would have liked it a lot. My pop's older sister, my Aunt LeJune, came out to visit, and one of the cousins was like, do you think it would be possible for her to meet Barker? And I'm like, no, there's no way. He's got meetings, he's got all sorts of stuff, and needless to say, it's like I set it up with Barker. As soon as we're done, I walked Aunt LeJune up the stairs, and around the corner he's waiting, and I had already told her that it's probably not going to happen. Aunt LeJune, how are you? She's like, oh. At that moment, I knew I was a good nephew, and so any wrongs I had done had been righted.
The behind the scenes stuff's interesting. I'd be curious. As he's talking, I'm just thinking of all the stuff that when you're in this industry and you do the crazy things we've done. We've seen so many behind the scenes.
Yeah,
and it's like it's rolling through my head. Like, what's the craziest? What's the one that stands out to you guys?
Well,
Russ No More.
It could be.
No,
it's up there. That's
what I've got other ones, but until we get the publisher to do the same book for him as the book for us, I'm not saying nothing.
Really? It's that good?
How many times have y'all been at the Westgate or when it was the Hilton?
Okay.
Oh, the Hilton.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Phil's Russ No More is an easy one. Like, I get it.
Remember those bathrooms?
Cool
Russ No More was amazing. Have we ever told the Russ No More story?
It may have been early, but
Jeff would love to hear the Russ No More story.
Yes, tell me.
Because this goes hand in hand with like road touring and road tripping. This was fucking crazy. Was Dad with us on that one?
Yes.
Yeah, he was
100%.
Yeah.
Because it was me, Jason Fisher, you, Phil, and your dad.
With Goolsby.
Yeah. It was me and Jason in his Chevelle.
Yep.
And you three
was that
in the
before or after you took all the paint off the front of Greening's car?
That was a different road trip.
Was it?
no, same road trip. It was after.
Okay.
just
was the F80.
F85.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Whatever.
Anyway, it's not important.
Fuck him. He tried to race.
Right.
So we've already talked about that. So we basically hit the state line of Louisiana from Mississippi, right? And we decide it's just us. It's two cars, which now Dave Garfield's Camaro.
It was our Camaro at the time.
Your Camaro at the time.
68 spec Camaro.
68 spec Camaro, and me and Jason. Nice. Me and Jason Fisher in his 71 Chevelle. 71 or 72.
Nice. It was just the two cars, huh?
Yeah, just the two cars. So we decide, we had talked about beforehand, Jonathan Goolsby is going to meet us in Dallas, right? He's going to meet us in Dallas. We're doing the thing. We're coming from Mississippi. We hit the state line, and we had this crazy idea that said, as soon as we hit Louisiana, no interstate all the way to Texas. We've got to go through the entire state of Louisiana on the back roads, right?
Nice.
So we do that. We are humming it on these back roads that is in nothing but swampland.
It's like a foresty swamp thing.
Yeah, it's just nothing but, Spanish moss and swamp and a 2-lane road, right? And there's water.
Blacktop.
And we are
borderline blacktop.
Yeah, it's blacktop-ish, right? But we're just humming it. And it seems like, obviously, as time goes on, the stories get grander, but it seems like we're going on for 2 hours, right? And it's just like almost like a fast-forwarded, like, black and white movie where it's just switchbacks, bumper on bumper, and we're just rolling, right? And you almost get in a zone, right? You're not even talking. You're just having fun. 2 cars, 5 guys, we're rolling. All of a sudden, we pass a sign that says the sign basically, I didn't see the name. I saw street rods. I saw a street rod and a little, like, a 33, right? We hit the hooks, right?
Well, we went way past it.
We did.
And then we stopped.
Yeah, we stopped, and it was like,
hot rod
it would look like a hot rod shop. Let's go check it out. So we loop it around. We go back. We pull in, and it was Russ No More Street Rods. And you can pick it up from there.
Yeah, you pull off the road, and it's just dirt and gravel, and it's like
sand.
And sand. One big, like, old pole barn that's, like, set back with no doors on the front of it, if I remember. Just, like...
No doors. Yeah. Big garage door openings, no doors in them.
So, let's go see what's going on in here. These guys are probably, like, super cool. Hot rod guys, they're going to be like, oh, it's Goolsby Customs. It's the Roadster Shop. Like, well, this would be a fun time. We walk in, and it's probably 4 or 5 guys sitting on buckets. And
drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes.
It was literally, it's the epitome. It's exactly like you would cast these guys out of a movie where it's like you ain't from around here, is you? As we walk in and
remember the Burt Reynolds movie with the banjo, right?
Oh yeah, Deliverance. Yeah,
okay. That movie in Louisiana in a hot rod setting.
Yeah. So I think it was dirt floors and
it was mostly dirt floors.
Yeah.
And they look up at us, and it was like, it got real uncomfortable because it was like, you're not like really welcome here. They don't know who we are. They don't really care.
We were thinking like hot rod guys. But we're all in the same family.
The one thing they said, they looked out there and
I had my truck.
Yeah, he does.
I had my square body. It was, we ain't like them low riders
with them airbags.
They got them airbags.
With them airbags on them all out there.
Didn't Jonathan take care of it with his accent?
He wasn't there.
He's driving the truck and trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they had like a semi truck spray booth. Right?
Yeah.
That was right there sitting in front of it. And then there's all of a sudden you start seeing like random hot rods like here and there. And then we caught one guy's attention, and he started walking us through.
Mm-hmm.
And
we got a tour.
He starts touring us through. Well, they manufacture their own fiberglass bodies. So you start seeing
plugs and molds
and plugs and stuff.
Bodies stacked up.
They're building fucking chassis, and then you walk back, you get out of the pole barn, and there's like, an actual finished facility with, typical like 80s, 90s hot rod shop, like drop ceiling, the fluorescent lights in there. And they've got cars in there that are like almost finished, ready to deliver. And they're talking about like this. It's like a 32 Pro Street car, I think, that had a big old blower,
BDS
small block
blower.
or something.
BDS blower.
And I think it was shipping out of the country or it was going somewhere. And they're just telling us all about it. They had not a fucking clue who we were. Not that they should, but like, in the hot rod.
How long ago was this?
It's 6, 7 years ago.
Probably 7 or 8. Probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But not long enough ago that it should have mattered. But it was a while back.
But it was just wild. I mean,
they
nice guys.
The takeaway was they were doing their fucking thing, and they had cars to build, they had bodies to build, stuff like that, and just such a, like you said, perspective. That was the whole thing, is perspective, right? We're living the time of our lives, right? We're fucking boogieing it down through fucking Louisiana, badass cars, roadster shop chassis, right? Everything badass. We're gonna roll around. Let's check out this hot rod shop, right? And it was, who the fuck are you guys, and why are you here?
But at the end of it, I would say, the takeaway from it was that these dudes are probably doing better than most of the hot rod shops out there.
100%.
They had some fucking volume.
They had volume.
They did
going on there. Yeah. I mean, you could put that in perspective, I guess. But they had, for being something that you thought was just like this little like pole barn out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, these guys had some serious shit going on.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Favorite car movie?
Oh, geez. 2-Lane Blacktop is one of them.
Wow.
I was telling my pop about that to a friend, and he's like, maybe we should watch this. Like, there's no dialogue for the first 30 minutes. It's not for everyone. And if you're a car guy, or if you're not a car guy, you've never heard of it, it may not be for you. But I love that movie. Smokey and the Bandit is a great one. But 2-Lane Blacktop is just to hear that the M22, to hear that thing whining through. Oh,
yeah. I feel like 2-Lane Blacktop is one of the best representations of like an actual car experience. You got like American Graffiti's cool. I love the movie, but it's a little cheesy. Like when you see Milner leaving the line with racing Falfa, and it sounds like a Top Fuel car leaving with a power glide. It gets just. This is like true sound effects and real street racers, and it's a fucking badass movie, man. I love that movie.
Yeah, but Tim Strange is the one who told me where to go on freights. Anyways, I've been out to Paradise Road a few times, and last year when I went out to Petaluma, I forget what was going on, but the whole town was shut down for some sort of parade, and I was going to go to where the I know what your dream is, just like everyone else in this town, is to be a pharaoh, and we can make that happen. That used car lot, or that empty lot, is still there.
Is it really?
And Tim was telling me about it. He's got some dirt from Paradise Road. But anyways, it's like, I've been out there, and I'm getting ready this season. 2-Lane Black. Do you know where they have lunch? When the girl gets out of the truck and the girl gets in their car, and they don't say anything about it. Mary's Cafe is just outside of Flagstaff. I've been there a bunch, but I'm going to do a whole video on 2-Lane Blacktop on the locations that are still around.
That still exists? Yeah,
Mary's Cafe. Yeah, you can get lunch there.
Any way, shape, or form the same, or is it just the structures?
Yeah.
You get excited, aren't you?
I'm a major 2-Lane Blacktop.
You are.
Fan. I mean, I've been outspoken about it.
You are? Oh,
Jeremy's he's a huge 2-Lane Blacktop fan.
What about Vanishing Point?
I like the car. I like some of the scenes, but that's a tough one to sit through. It's just a boring kind of movie.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, when you're in Flagstaff and you go north a few miles, you're still in town, but where they pull up, there's the triangle. They're on camera. You can see the triangle building. It says Mary's Cafe over the front door. That's still there. So it's cool. Like that building is still there. It's been expanded a little bit, but my goal is to, every time I've been there, somebody has always been sitting in that booth, in their booth. So this time I want to go there, drive up, and sit in their booth.
And roll up in a 55 Chevy and sit in their booth.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Last time when I did Route 66, I drive through there, and some lady, it's like, "Oh, is your car for sale?" And it's like, Everything's for sale. The price is right, honey. Well, how much do you want for it? It's like, I'm not the one. What are you offering? It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Don't ask me.
Everyone's got to.
That's two opposite ends of the spectrum. So you're two-lane blacktop and Smokey and the Bandit. Where I heard no mention of Cannonball Run.
Oh, love Cannonball.
I feel like we're such kindred spirits. You can't not mention Cannonball Run.
Love Cannonball Run. There's at the beginning when the Lamborghini comes over that little crest and comes down and slams.
Is
on
that
the
in
brakes
Albuquerque?
It's in Nevada because after this, it's on my way. I'll be leaving Scottsdale, Good Guys, and going north. And I've got over a week until the C10 Nationals in Vegas. So I'm going up through the Hoover Dam. And after the Hoover Dam through Boulder City, I'm getting that. They've moved it because they've changed the whole freeway, or they widened it, or the on-ramps or something. So they've moved that 55-mile-per-hour sign, but that crest is still there. And there's a mile-per-hour sign right after that on-ramp. So I got to get that. And yeah, I love that.
When's the last time anybody's watched Cannonball Run?
It's probably since the 90s.
I'm gonna urge everybody listening right now, go ahead and give it a watch. I'm telling you, there's so much little hidden gold and gems in that. There's so many people in it, but it's a good,
favorite
funny
line.
ass.
Oh, it's what you got. Mel Tillis and Terry Bradshaw
in the pool,
Tropic Cup car. And so they got the cup car, and Terry is loading all this stuff and all this beer in the back of the car. Hey, Mel, yeah, you got enough food for all this beer? And Mel gets in and gets a pack of pretzels. Plenty. Because he's a stuttering country singer. Anyway, plenty. That's my favorite line for that damn movie.
Oh. I'm thinking you need to tag along on his next road trip. The two of you guys are connecting on such a level.
We do.
Here,
you just want to get him out
of weird,
for a while.
Well, there's that, but at the same time, I think you guys would get along.
Oh, yeah, we do. We hit on a lot of levels.
You don't mind smoking?
Definitely.
Do you mind smoking in the car? Judd, he'll smoke like about a carton of cigarettes on the way there, but
you just got to roll them up in your sleeve like Milner.
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
fine.
cool enough. He
that.
smokes Newports. Milner wasn't smoking Newports.
Newports.
Yeah, right.
Good for your breath mints.
Come on, everybody's got their thing. Give me a heart. Give me a fucking break. Fuck you, long bed. All right. Next, before we just talked all this stuff. I just had a memory. You know what Jonathan Goolsby's favorite movie is? Same era, but hardcore.
Dirty Harry, mate, crazy.
No, hardcore racing.
Racing.
Same era, but racing.
Talladega Nights.
No,
the five. What's older with the 5 kids?
Six pack.
You
were close.
Okay.
You were
five.
You were
Rogers.
one. You were one kid. One kid short. Yeah.
Was
that was
Lonnie Anderson? No,
he
that's
loves
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
got to rent that.
Never even heard of that.
Oh, Six Pack. Kenny Rogers, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kenny Rogers, like a NASCAR team. Right?
Six Pack. Yeah, I bet we've watched Six Pack crisscross across the country.
Yeah, say while driving.
two dozen times.
That's so funny. And speaking of Jonathan, I had put it was either after I put my deposit down or at some point, he's at all the Good Guys shows.
Yep.
So it's just talking to him. It's like, I'm doing Jeff. You're going to love it. It'll be night and day. And he was always the one who patted me out, just reassured me. And it's like I put him on all my bills religiously. So it's like, okay, thanks, man. He was always reassuring me. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, steered me the right way. He's one of the best.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Jonathan's great.
We got 2 questions left, right?
Oh, gee. All right.
And I'm going to give them both out, and you can pick the order. I want the best piece of advice that you've ever received, and I want the best Bob Barker story you've got.
Yeah, the Bob Barker one for sure.
Oh, geez. I don't even know what advice. It's like, because I don't.
Maybe they go
like you were saying earlier
hand.
with the perspective. I don't think I have. You said career. I don't think I have a career. I think I'm a bum that kind of travels around in an old car that goes to these shows.
If you've made a living and have gotten a check and have sustained yourself, I'm here to tell you that's a fucking career. Like that's his
Thank you.
his career as it gets.
It's pretty.
Right?
It's a pretty cool career, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've enjoyed
Thank you.
listening to it.
Thanks. Yeah, career. I don't know. I've got a bunch of stories. It's like I worked at the Playboy Mansion for a while. I worked on Baywatch here and there
We
for a
didn't
while.
even touch on the fucking Playboy Mansion
At all, and it's all good. I'm just, it's yeah. So, if I had any advice,
Me and Jeff we're hanging out.
I should have worked. Yeah, definitely, I should have worked a lot harder in school. I think instead of just, my mom said I always just kind of snuck by or just kind of got by. I never really worked hard, and I should have worked a lot harder. And it's like a lot of my friends are not graduate, they're retiring now. They're at that age.
Okay.
I feel like
You said you should have worked harder. Everything that you just talked about, what would you have changed and what would you have done? If you would have worked harder, where would you be at?
Good question.
Exactly.
Like,
that's saying,
hard,
that you didn't do good enough.
Yeah. So I don't know what I would have changed or how to change. Maybe to try the YouTube thing earlier. But I don't know. Yeah, good question. Because I piddled around with that for 5 years before pulling the trigger to do any real videos. But that's not. And my nephew tells people, "Yeah, my uncle Jeff does YouTube." It's like, shh, don't tell. They're adults. Don't tell them that. I mean, that's kind of it's all again perspective. It's kind of embarrassing. And,
dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. After listening to you for 2 hours, I think you've worked pretty fucking damn hard. So don't say I should have worked harder.
Yeah,
because
you
worked pretty fucking hard.
Inviting me on here, having me on. Seriously, it's I've known about this for a while, and it's like I called Justin first and told him, and then Tim, and Tim's like, "Are you sure they got the right number?" I'm like, "That's what I said." It's like I think that you got the wrong guy. So I'm honored to be on because you guys are like the creme de la creme de. Yeah, you're badass.
Well,
so thank you,
Tim. We are redoing Tim because we didn't get Tim.
No, Tim.
We got this.
I think Tim was nervous.
We got this professional version of Tim.
Yeah.
Tim came on, and I asked him a question.
Tim did bad,
and he's like, "I appreciate the question, Jeremy, and thank you for asking such a
that's an astute question."
I would have to say that upon processing the question, as I think about my career over the years, I've faced a lot of hurdles. And I'd have to say that the vehicles that I've built and the customers that I've established, the relationships I've built, like Tim. You're the guy who busts my fucking balls every time I see you. Like that's the Tim we want.
Here's the deal.
Every chance he gets.
We're breaking it right now. We're gonna do a
it needs to be oil in person.
We're gonna do an oil and whiskey in person for sure. But we need to do
drink though. So
we need to do an oil and whiskey,
Mountain Dews, baby,
and the Strange Motion podcast.
Combine them.
Oh yeah,
we'll do them both. We'll do both of them. Will drop. But we'll film it all at one time.
He drinks his Rockstar. He's got his Rockstar sponsorship.
I know, but I think
my feelings are a little hurt. He never asked us to be on.
He doesn't want us to be on there.
I think, I know. Oh, obviously.
Right. Oh, that's hogwash.
Yeah, obviously.
He does not want us to be on.
He can't handle the ratings. Like
when we do that,
we're going to force him to be on it by having him on ours.
If he does, I'm going to pull the same shit that he did. I'm going to be like, well, the chassis production, Tim. I believe when we bring a chassis and we thoroughly engineer it and we turn it over to the engineers.
No, Kerry, that's an interesting question that you proposed there.
I'm just going to bring a clown in.
Oh, he's fucking deathly afraid of clowns. All right,
dude, those two are the best together. Carrie and Tim.
Yeah.
Been together since high school, put up with each other's shit. He doesn't have a credit card. She takes it. When he gets a check, he hands it right. They're the best together. They're just awesome.
And good for him, dude, because, I mean, he has no other chance. I love Tim. All right, last but not least, the best Bob Barker story. We got to have it.
Yeah.
That you're allowed to share.
Yeah, the one that got me was I don't know if it was St. Patrick's Day, but the CBS TV City is here, and then there's a fence, and they had just opened up. I think it's the Grove or whatever the hell it is, and there was Timmy and Bobby Chick, the Chick brothers, and Jerry Dumphy. They were prop guys over on stage left, and we'd go over to Maggiano. We'd go have lunch, and it was St. Patrick's Day that day, and went over and had a couple of black bushes, some Bushnell, the mother's milk, as Timmy would say.
What's a black bush?
A Bushnell's Irish whiskey,
okay.
and the black
Guinness?
stuff is very good. So we had a couple of few or whatever it was. And anyways, it's the first or second act and the lights go dark and he's over by door 2 and points at me. There's door 1, 2, and 3. And then I was over next to the announcer's podium, and then cameras 3 and 4, Ed Nelson and Marty Wagner, the camera guys. Barker's next to 2, and I'm walking away, and he points to me and gives me the finger. I'm like, oh, geez. And it's like, you distracted me over there. Don't ever let it fucking happen again. And he said that. It was dark. Nobody else could hear. Nobody else was around. Like, and I was about to, I didn't distract. I wasn't doing anything. I just said, yes, sir, and went on my way. After the show, the whole production, because that was my first year. All the producers, everyone over on the other side of the stage, Zach, what happened? What happened? What did he say? It's like, he told me don't ever let it fucking happen again. What did you say? It's like, yes, sir, it won't. He dropped the F-bomb on you. You popped your cherry. Oh, it's wonderful. And they all hugged me. And it's like, so he yelled at me, and he as long as you don't compromise his performance, he was an iron fist and a velvet glove. Anytime that CBS would try to move us or do anything that the producers didn't like or whatever, Barker would step in and say and tell them. Instead of going through producer XYZ, he was there long enough that he didn't talk to any of them. He went to Les Moonves and said, this is how it's going to be. So we had that protection, and he was the old school. He came from vaudeville. So it was neat as hell to, during the commercial breaks, a lot of the host, they stop down now, and the hosts don't talk. And he would stand there with the mic and take questions from people in the audience.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So it was, so then you got the stage manager is telling him, all right, we've got 15 until we're ready to go. And if that's the camera, he would tell the audience. The other night I was driving home, and there was a policeman following me, and he had the sirens on and whatnot. And he came up to the window. He said $50. I said lower. And he had it timed out to whenever Bobby said 8 or 10 seconds that he could do that, and the audience would bust into laughter right as soon as the red light would come on Marty's camera to take the Rich, who's our next contestant?
Guys,
so and so, come on down.
Fucking professional is a professional regardless of what you're doing.
Oh,
people take that for granted.
Yeah, I did for a bit. And he is the consummate professional. Was never late. I mean, got us out on time. Did everything. He was to a T. On his door was WGMC, World's Greatest MC, Master of Ceremonies, and he's the best.
That's awesome, Jeff. It's been an absolute fucking blast.
Yeah, been a pleasure.
It is my honor. Thank you guys so much. Seriously,
dude. We knew about you. We were fans of you. Appreciative of the chassis purchase and putting the miles that you've had on it. But at the same time, I mean, just being honest, everybody listening, we haven't hung out a lot, right? So we don't know each other. This was an absolute fucking blast.
It's a lot of fun, man.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting together, having some drinks with you guys.
We got to do it. Where are you going to be? Where are we going to run into you? What show? You'd be Good Guys shows, obviously, right?
Bunch of Scottsdale, Good Guys and C10 Nationals, Hot Rod Power Tour.
Okay.
I'll be in Columbus for something. And that's 3 hours from you?
Yeah.
4?
We'll be out there. Yep.
If you're close, come up and see us. If you're going to be at Columbus Good Guys, we'll see you there in July, and we're going to have some drinks at the booth.
Definitely. Go at the booth?
Yeah, at the booth.
Come on by.
Yeah, we party at the booth.
Okay. Ed's gone. We can do whatever we want.
Have some cocktails and then go out there and hit the auto.
Where's everybody got to follow you? It's I Drive a 55 on YouTube, right?
That's my website, but otherwise it's YouTube / my name, Jeff Thisted.
Jeff
for YouTube.
Thisted.
Yeah.
THISTED. Twisted Thisted.
Yes, sir.
Jeff.
Thanks, you guys. Yeah.
Thanks,
dude, it's been a fucking pleasure.
Had a lot of fun.
The pleasure is mine. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in person.
Awesome, man. We'll
see you soon.
Thank you.
All right, definitely. Take care. Thank you.
All right, man.
Take care.
Bye.
That was cool. Cool dude. And crazy career.
Holy shit, the fucking stories.
Yeah. He really sells himself short, man. He's
so fucking humble.
Yeah, he's done some wild shit.
Yeah. Lived the fucking life.
And now he's on the Oil and Whiskey podcast.
Dude,
I mean, now he's that's probably the highlight.
Now
of his
he's
career. Dude,
he'll be pretty boastful after this. I feel like.
after this one, that'll be at the top of his accolades.
I think I found myself a new friend.
You guys definitely connected.
Yeah, we are into the same things.
I kept thinking, I just picture this Jackie Treehorn's house from Big Lebowski when we started talking about Bob Barker. That was like, couldn't get it out of my head. But man, what a wild career that dude's. I bet you he's got. I mean, we didn't even touch on the whole Playboy Mansion.
No,
that's got to be.
Hey, but that's fine. We're gonna do it again. Yeah. That's when
round 2 in person.
When they leave you wanting more. That's when you know they're a professional.
Yeah,
that's.
You got notes? What do you got? Notes over there?
Oh, we're gonna talk about the whiskey that we had. We
got through a good amount of that.
We drank a fair amount.
This is an interesting one.
You're going to have to...
Well, I'm going to start.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to start because Phil started this with basically be nice, that somebody gifted us this.
Yes.
And when I first drank it, I was like, I'm not going to be nice because it's our duty to give honest reviews. And my initial assessment was that it kind of tasted like I had some light proof whiskey and I let the ice cube melt in it. And now it's warm and I'm drinking it diluted. However, I got through like half of that first glass, and then I found myself actually kind of liking it.
I know you did.
It might have been. I've been drinking. We did some beer drinking over the past week, which is very unusual for me. But I haven't been on the whiskey. A little bit of wine, a little bit of beer. I'm gonna eat my word. My initial assessment was not good, and then I got through that half a glass, and it's actually I like it. I mean, I enjoyed drinking. It shows by how much we consumed, right?
Yeah. I mean, look at that.
It's smooth. It's easy to drink.
It's hard to tell from that. Fuck, you know what? That's the worst possible way to see how much is.
It's a terrible way to see.
But yeah.
I'd consider that. Maybe we should start.
Look at that. There, right there. You can see it.
We might start labeling these as like podcast bourbons. Podcast bourbon is one that you could just sit there and effortlessly drink.
Yeah.
New category.
Unfortunately or fortunately, we've drank a absolutely shit ton of bourbon.
I realized that when you cleared the shelves.
Yeah.
How long did that take? That was quite the undertaking.
Well, season 4, looking at that's times 4.
Think about this. Think about this. 156 episodes, right? And there's only probably been 6 or 7 that we've doubled up on, that we've drank things twice. So call it 150 bottles of bourbon that we've drank. Last year
was leap year too.
Well, I don't know what the fuck that means.
That's too hard to calculate.
So. We've drank a lot, right? And we're not like very good at reviews. Right, we give numbers. We give buy it, don't buy it.
We fell off.
We're getting good at drinking bourbon though.
We're getting good, but now I brought this out, right? And I said, hey, this is a gift. So I'm going to read the letter first.
Go ahead.
Right? Thanks for having me on the podcast. Not sure if this will be any good. It was the one suggested for the best local bottle, Idaho, Oregon. Enjoy, Austin Phipps. Right. So Austin Phipps built from the Battle of the Builders episode, the last episode of the season 3. So this is micro distilled in Joseph, Oregon, right? As soon as I saw that, I was like, we'll see. But it's got a 5-year age statement, white American oak casks, and it's an 80 proof, right? So 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Stein Distillery.
It probably coming from Oregon. That little bite it has is probably just like a little
liberal.
Yeah, it's possible.
just a little bit of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to go there.
Okay. The very first bit, it wasn't bad. It was a little smoky. But the proof, I was like, all right, no problem. But we started having a great conversation with Jeff. We started drinking it. This is I know people are going to fucking destroy me for this. This is a little...
Go ahead and say it, dude. Go ahead and say it.
Fire that off.
Yeah, get it out there. Get it off your chest.
This is a little Weller Blanton's like in the low proof side of things, where it's just a lighter bourbon.
Yeah, I'm going to agree to disagree on that.
I'm just telling you.
Disagree. But hey, that's the thing about bourbon. It's You know, you got to give your own review.
It's your palate.
Yeah, it is.
It's thin. It's thin like Blanton's.
That might be.
I'll give you that. It is a little thinner side.
The viscosity.
It's thin. That could be the cigarettes that have coated your mouth for 30 years, maybe giving you not the best.
As opposed to what is coated.
Second smoke.
Yeah, just
I'm gonna
secondhand smoke.
Stop
My
there.
body's a fucking temple. I don't put any toxins in here.
I hope there's got to be 3 people that have picked up on that.
Probably more than that. Yeah. The industry we're in, probably 75% of the listeners just picked up on that.
You're never gonna find this micro distilled in Joseph, Oregon. Yep. You're never gonna find it. So buy it doesn't mean anything.
That's a cool little bottle.
I'm gonna tell you, Austin, an apology.
I don't know. I gave it a rave review.
But you came into it, you're like, oh, what's this going to be?
Judged the book by its cover.
You were nice.
It's just an honest review, man.
You were nice, and I was neutral.
You've got to be honest to the listeners, right? These are honest reviews. If it sucks.
So if anybody is walking around and they see Stein's Distillery straight bourbon whiskey, is it a buy it?
Yeah, I'd say it's a buy it. I'd say it's a buy it and stick with it, because to me, my initial assessment was that I didn't love it upon the first few sips, but I don't know if I got.
We drank that much of it,
but I enjoy it. It's good.
Yeah. First pull was a little bit different, but I think after half a glass, kind of got used to it. Good, different flavor.
Yeah.
Depending on what else is on the shelf, I'm assuming kind of a rare one that you're not going to come across.
Probably not,
just because it's smaller. But
you ready for me to blow your guys' minds?
Blow it.
I saved this for last. The bull drawing on the front,
5-point buck.
That's done by Moncrief Wildlife Artistry. Yeah.
What?
It's right there on the back of it.
Oh,
that's who did the drawing.
That's some interesting information. But I was going to say, I don't know anything about bucks, but are there 5 points? Is that a thing?
That's an elk.
No matter how many points, that's a bull elk, right? That thing will fuck you up.
But it's a 5-year. I was saying that would have been like a clever little.
Oh, yeah, it's more than 5 points. So there could be 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, 5 point. Yeah, right. That's each individual point on a buck. But I'm telling you what, you come across a bull elk, the best advice I can give you
is run
fast. But you ain't ever gonna run fast enough. That bull elk will fuck you up.
That's the last fucking
bull elk
doe that fucks. Yeah, good stuff, man. That was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
Enjoyed hanging with Jeff.
Kick ass. Thanks for listening to Oil and Whiskey. See you again next week.